It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Wednesday, June 12, 2024. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. Relatively nice day in New York City. Great to be back on a Wednesday. Yes, if you're watching us live, we're a couple of minutes late. 1,000% my fault. And that's because lots going on. Lots going on in the world of MMA and lots going on regarding UFC 303. I know a lot of people are interested. I know we have been trying our best to update. And really, if we can give ourselves the old Barry H., the only ones who, for whatever reason, are reporting on this, I don't know why. And so we will continue to do that. And I will tell you everything that I know off the top of this show once we get through the business. So chill out, sit back, regarding this highly anticipated and much talked about event going down on June 29th in Las Vegas. All right. As always, we are presented by our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Appreciate their support as always. Back end of the show, we'll get the picks from the pals, and no New York Rick again today. He is still battling that strep throat, and so we do wish him well and do hope that he continues to make a recovery. He'll be back hopefully on Monday. But another busy weekend in combat sports, so we'll get their picks, also GC's picks. Speaking of a busy weekend, this perhaps flying under the radar here in the United States and certainly in MMA circles, but there's a great cruiserweight title fight going down at Selhurst Park, which is home to Crystal Palace, the Premier League team, this Saturday. It's on Peacock here in the United States. It's on Sky Sports in the UK. It's the champion, Chris Billam-Smith, going up against Richard Riakporhe. This is a rematch of a fight that happened back in 2019. These two, no love lost between them. There's a great backstory there. Certainly with Richard, he was stabbed several years ago in his chest. He survived. He is undefeated. CBS's only loss was to Richard back in 2019, a somewhat controversial loss. Now, Chris Billam-Smith is the champion, going to Crystal Palace HQ, so to speak, the club that Richard supports. 28,000 people, open air, soccer stadium, football stadium this Saturday. We'll have both of them on at the same time. Love doing those face-to-faces, either in person or via some form of Zoom, virtually. And so we'll do that back into the show. Prior to that, we'll be joined by Raul Rosas Jr., who, of course, beat Ricky Turcios on Saturday in Louisville. I think it was Chiwiwi, he said. I think that's what it was. We might have to add that to the drops, Frank, if we can effort that. You know what I'm talking about, right? Chiwiwi. Or we could just use your version, which I kind of like better, if I'm being honest.
Thank you.
So Raul Rosas will join us at 3:10. So looking forward to that conversation with the young man. Prior to that, we will be joined by Chael P. Sonnen, who is returning to action this Saturday, June 15th, against Anderson Silva. They're doing it again. 117, 148, and Spaten Fight Night. If that's how you pronounce it. It's an alcoholic beverage company. They're putting on this sort of exclusive VIP black tie event, and it will be Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva in a boxing match this Saturday. Unfortunately, as of now, and I don't suspect this changes. Unfortunately, it does not appear as though this will air in America, which is a bit of a bummer. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, we'll be joined by Chael Sonnen, who's in Brazil with his family. And then prior to that, we'll be joined by Anderson Silva. So this is a great honor to be joined by the two foes, the two men who will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this month in about 15 days' time. They will be inducted together for their fight at UFC 117, August of 2010 in Oakland, California. It was at the Oracle Arena What a time that was. So that's all coming up. And then in a matter of moments, we will do On the Nose, some great questions this week. So stay tuned for that. But first, an update once again on UFC 303. And so let me preface the update. As I'm recapping everything, it doesn't mean that I'm just like bloviating here. I'm just bringing you up to speed, okay? I'm bringing you up to speed like so. We know about the press conference. We know that the press conference never happened last Monday. We know at the 11th hour, Michael Chandler was told not to fly over to Dublin. On Sunday, he's done an interview with The Pivot, with those guys. He kind of laid it out. Go check it out on their YouTube channel. But on Sunday of last week, he was told, don't fly to Dublin. There is not going to be a press conference. We know that no one has come out and said specifically why there was no press conference, why it was canceled. We know that on Monday I came on this show and laid out all the reasons that were not at play. And there are some good detectives out there that were able to figure out the reason at play. As I've said before, I was asked to not discuss that, report that off the record. Certain things are on, certain things are off. We don't have to get into all of that, but that's fine. On Monday of last week, I would say the optimism level was not very high. There was some concern, there was some doubt, there were roadblocks. I came on this show on Wednesday and said optimism was high. There was great positivity, all those words that I used. It felt like we had dodged a bullet. It felt like we had turned a corner. On Tuesday, I reported that the UFC was sending out feelers. They were reaching out to fighters and managers to see who could possibly be available to either replace the fight, meaning 2 new fighters, or step in and replace one of the fighters involved to fight on this card. Obviously, the fighter that we're talking about is Conor McGregor because, if not, why would why would Chandler be ready to go on a plane to Dublin? And so I said that it seemed like we were all good. And by Wednesday, no feelers were being thrown out. No one was talking about this really. It seemed as though all systems were a go. And more proof to that was Chandler doing the interview with The Pivot, speaking about everything that he had been through over the past week. That interview was done late last week. And also on the ABC card, the Fight Night card in Louisville on Saturday on the telecast, a ton of promos regarding UFC 303 and regarding that specific fight. T-Mobile is promoting it. UFC is promoting it. All systems seem to be a go. All right. Monday, nothing really out of sort. But yesterday morning, I started to hear, as I continued to check in, because I know there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of doubt, a lot of concern about this because it's such a big fight and because no one involved, in particular from the UFC side and from the McGregor camp, are speaking about this publicly. Chandler did the one interview and that was it. And I think that squashed some concern, but no one is coming out and really talking about this. So I understand the concern. So I continue to check in and be a pest and be annoying. And I found out that via multiple sources that they are reaching out to people again. They are reaching out to managers. They are reaching out to fighters. And as I reported yesterday, as potential replacements, i.e. a new fight, as backups, as someone stepping in for McGregor, or as just insurance, as a, just in case we need to know if all these things are at play. One step further. Here we are, Wednesday, 1:13. The positivity that I talked about exactly 1 week ago today is nowhere to be found. I would say this fight is very much in limbo. I would say that it's hanging on. And I would say the UFC is working very, very hard right now to figure out a plan B. Now, the plan B could be someone stepping in to fight Chandler. The plan C could be a whole new fight. If you look at the roster, if you look at who's available, if you look at the champions who have just fought or who are scheduled to fight, there aren't a ton of options. There really aren't. And we could play this exercise because, trust me, I've played it a million times. But I'm just telling you where we stand right now, and I'm telling you the God's honest truth. And you want to know why it is the truth? Go back to Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Go back to when Dustin Poirier came out and said, I'm not fighting because I wasn't happy with my deal. And then we spoke about it a little bit. It was very quick to go on his social media and say that we're all a bunch of bullshitters and this isn't true. And the fight was on. Behind the scenes, as this was all going down, they fixed it. They gave him what he wanted. This has been a story that we've talked about since Monday of last week, 10 days. That hasn't happened once. Does that not give you pause? Trust me, no one on planet Earth wants to see this fight more than me. I know everyone wants to see it just as much, but like, I am dying to see this fight. I want nothing more than to see this fight. I want to see Conor back healthy. I want to see Michael Chandler get his payday. I want to see that big fight. I want to see it for all the fans who haven't experienced a Conor McGregor fight. A new fan base has been born over the last few years. They weren't even around for DP3. They weren't even around for that in July of 2021. There's nothing like a McGregor fight. There's nothing like that scene. June, July, International Fight Week. It's magic. It's the biggest gate in UFC history. And it was that, like, when tickets went on sale like this. So there ain't no part of me that is hoping that this falls through. But I'll tell you, as of right now, it's pessimism. They're they're reaching out. They're putting out feelers. They're making offers. This is where we stand. And it's in great limbo. And last week I told you, if you ask me right now, is this fight happening? I said yes. But what did I also say? This could all change tomorrow or the next day. You can never definitively say something is on, especially when there are things that come up in a training camp. And so I sit here as I continue to update and I tell you it's a developing story all the time. I don't feel that same way anymore. I don't. I just don't. But I say that once again to tell you that tomorrow that could change. But as of right this second, I have to shoot straight, 1:15 Eastern time. I don't feel that way, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but them's the facts. It's not looking good. Because time is ticking. If this fight was in late July, this would be a totally different story. And so here's what's at play. They either can find someone on essentially 2.5 weeks' notice to step in, either for McGregor or a whole new fight. You would like, in a perfect world, they can figure out, and I know they have their Perth date in August, and I know they have their Sphere date, and I know they have their Salt Lake City in late October. But like, to me, if there's ever been a guy that deserves, the respect to call an audible for, it's McGregor. And what I mean by that is make a new date. Make a new date. I understand if Michael Chandler is in a position where he's like, I just need money. I don't think he's in that position. I know he will get a good chunk of cash if he fights McGregor from the UFC and from all the ancillary things that come into play when you fight Conor. There's a McGregor clause, so to speak. It's a lottery ticket. So I can understand him either saying, I'm going to wait. If you're going to tell me this is happening in August or September, October, okay, maybe I'll wait. If it's just done, then maybe I fight someone on short notice. I understand that. If I were in charge and this is done, you hopefully announce a 303 fight, a new fight, and at the same time you announce the McGregor fight. I think you could actually take a page from what Turcios did after the Tyson Fury cut, which is Fury's out one day, next day you announce new date, May 18th, and then all the speculation and all the doubt and all the worry subsides a little bit because now all the talk is about the new date. And remember, that was similar to this. That was like a 4-month wait between the cut and the new date. And so this is going to be a story that continues to evolve. And this is going to be a story that a lot of people are obviously worried about. I wish nothing more for someone to come out and just say something, but I think that you are probably going to hopefully hear something in the coming days because you have to. 303 is 17 days away. Extremely unfortunate. Yeah, it's like as the world turns. And again, we could go through the roster right now. I mean, that was perfect. That was so perfect, by the way. I don't think O'Malley's fighting on 2 weeks' notice. They have plans for him coming up against Merab. I don't think Pantoja is stepping in. I just don't think that that's going to suffice. Topuria, they also have plans for. I don't think that they're going to divert from those plans on 2 weeks' notice. Makhachev just fought. Leon's fighting July 27th. Is there a DDP scenario out there? We know he was supposed to fight Izzy. I don't think Izzy's fighting on 2 weeks' notice. He just put out a video about, starting his training camp. Is there an Alex Pereira scenario out there? I mean, we know he has 2 broken toes. We also know that he's in Australia. Does he take the fight? Does he fight Yuri? Seems like Yuri was saying to people this weekend at the Octagon show that there's something in the works. A lot of people pointing to that. John Jones hurt. Aspinall fighting. Grasso is fighting Shevchenko at some point. I don't think Zhang Weili is going to do it, but, that could be one. Does that suffice? I don't know. And so this is a predicament. It's a crazy thing because we have been in these scenarios before. Is it on? Is it off? But never before do I recall such a prolonged stretch of silence. That is unique. That is supremely unique. And so, yeah, let's see how the world turns. But as of right now, pessimism, limbo, don't feel great. Don't feel great. And this is what it's like to report on things in real time. There's ups, there's downs, and right now there's an extreme amount of downs. So, bit of a bummer. Let's answer some questions, and let's see how this all plays out. Time now for everyone's favorite segment of the week. It is time.
It's time for a good old-fashioned Q&A, MMA fans. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived to hear from the man himself, Ariel Helwani.
It's the moment.
Live from the Box Studios in
What is the moment?
New York City. It's on the nose.
Mike said it's the moment.
And now,
to
answer your questions.
This is usually
Get out of your seats
more lively,
and on your feet because here he is.
Well, there's a lot,
Ariel
I know. I get it.
The reason why the show started late was because I'm trying to gather the nuts and do my due diligence, and I looked up and I was like, oh shit, it's 1:01. So I apologize for that. And now things are happening in real time. So it's just been a crazy thing. It's been a while since we've had one of these, to be honest. And this is actually one of those times where I wish I looked at the questions beforehand.
Oh God.
If only because
I can roll up the sleeves and moderate.
No. Because I want to get to the this is not a day where I want to talk about wine etiquette. You know what I'm saying? So let me just try to filter as we go through. Here's one for us from Gilbert. Ariel, just wanted to check in on the Perth card in August. From what I've heard and seen, we are getting Izzy/DDP, but I feel like there has been nothing that I've seen that indicates that's still the plan. Can you give us a scoop? What's the nose smelling for 305? I mean, that is what they were leaning towards. Does all of this throw a wrench? I don't think so. I think that is still the plan, but everything is kind of at play right now. And like I said, there's only so many guys available. Now, could you conceivably throw out a replacement to fight Chandler? Chandler has to agree and probably have to get paid the same. But who is even, big enough to do that? I would say the only one who's big enough is Max Holloway. And last I heard, that wasn't a strong possibility. But I mean, it would be perfect because he's supremely popular at the moment. And it just it's perfect for the BMF champ, right? It's just exactly what the BMF is all about. But other than that, I just don't know if there's a fight that totally makes sense. Like DP, obviously not. Title fight, obviously not. I mean, maybe Charles. Again, this is not me reporting anything. I'm just trying to brainstorm with all of you. It's not it's not an easy one. I don't envy them. I don't envy Hunter Campbell right now, who's the guy who has to figure this out. Really, it's a committee of 4, as you've seen on the new series UFC Inc. But he's the one on the front lines. There's no doubt about it. And you saw a little bit his ability, and it's impressive to get things done. And so he's gonna have to do that again. And they've had to pivot on shorter notice, believe it or not. But the clock is definitely ticking, and there's just so much at stake. There's just so much financially tied to all of this. Steven, Shalom Ariel, do you think the reason behind the Dublin press conference cancellation will be revealed after the fight, or will the nature of the cancellation preclude it from coming out? Do you think it will be apparent at the press conference the week of 303? Well, clearly this was written before all this news came out, and I think that once we find out the fate of the fight, we will, we will hopefully get a lot more clarity to everything that has gone down. Hello, Ariel and crew, from Juan Sanchez. Question for you today regarding the UFC Hall of Fame. What distinguishes the modern wing from the pioneer wing? Is it a year, an event, a change of ownership? The modern wing is essentially the Zuffa era. The pioneer wing would be the SEG era. And that pretty much is like 2001 prior, 2001 post. So SEG with Bob Meyerowitz was 93 to 01, essentially. And then Zuffa was 01 to today. Oh, here's Ant Evans, who claims he put together the whole Hall of Fame, weighing in on that one. So I might as well read what he had to say. Ariel, hi Juan. Ariel and New York Rick both hate my beautiful Hall of Fame with a passion most normal people reserve for war criminals. So let me take this one. Directly quoted from the UFC Hall of Fame FAQ that I wrote in 2015, of course, and has been on UFC.com ever since. Why use UFC 28, November 2001, which is essentially, I said, right, like 2001 on, as the dividing line between pioneer and modern era? UFC 28, held on November 17, 2000, was the first event to use the unified rules of mixed martial arts. Okay, great point. And is thus considered by many historians and experts, including UFC official statisticians, fight metric to be the first event of the modern era. Before UFC 28, the rules for each event and even each fight varied depending on where, when, and who was fighting. After UFC 28, the rules were standardized. Thank you for that, Ed. Really, probably the best contribution you've made to the program since you came back into our lives. Leroy Jenkins, Ariel, just wanted to pay you a couple of compliments. I thought your take in last week's OTN regarding Trump and his presence at events was cogent. Is it cogent? Am I saying that correctly? I think so. Fair. And I commend. Is it cogent? C-O-G-E-N-T?
I think so, yeah.
And I commend you for not dodging a topic that was surely on the minds of many. You kept things objective, nonpartisan. And anyone who had a problem with anything you said is showing their own bias. Your interview with Dustin yesterday was one for the ages. He's my favorite fighter, and I love seeing you two chop it up. I think Dustin is always well-spoken, but the dynamic you have with him brings out the absolute best. Now for the heel turn. I wish I had a Men in Black memory eraser for the rest of last week's OTN. You know what we don't fucks with? You dithering around on your phone or computer as we listen to dead air, making the crew scramble to fill the void, and then getting irritated when they try to do that because you think they're talking to you. Oh, the irony. Irony. My question is, do you have a worse episode or MMA hour moment that stands out to you, and how long did it take you to stop thinking about it after the fact, specifically one that you felt responsible for, not Sasha Banks? She was in MMA hour. All love. Leroy Jenkins. I mean, I think that's
Leroy's not on.
Leroy is
by the way,
off the cuff.
no. It's appreciated. I think it's very unfair. Dithering around on the phone. By the way, I'm not texting my wife what to have for dinner. I'm trying to update you. I'm trying to update all of you. So last week, what happened, if memory serves me correct, Cheeto and I were talking about when he was going to come on the show, and he never confirmed the time. So I didn't want to bother him anymore. And then the time that we had talked about, or that I had pitched, came up. It was back into the show, 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern, which is exactly the same time that he was on Monday. And he's like, you never sent me the link. And I was like, oh, I didn't think you were in because you never confirmed. And so we were going back and forth on that while I was doing OTN on the back end. You can see the time last week on the show. So it's like, I'm trying my best, I'm trying my best here. And I don't think I was getting irritated at anyone. In fact, I would love a cue to be, if I'm dithering on the phone, as you put it, Leroy, for someone to take the baton. Go ahead. Jump in there. Rick's not here, right?
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Was that his cue to
cue?
pass the baton to him?
No. But I think, I think he knows what I'm talking about. But like, this is an open invitation. Anytime you guys want to jump in, please jump in.
You got it.
I feel like I've made that pretty clear. No,
Yeah,
everyone's in.
I didn't feel like you were irritated with us.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Leroy doesn't speak for all of us.
Who was Leroy? Was Leroy someone within the control room?
Plot thickens.
Is that what it is? Okay.
I think someone mentioned they thought you were playing Candy Crush or something.
Yeah, no. I would love to.
Dithering's a good word.
Dithering's a great word. As an audio guy, I do respect the dither, but inappropriate.
David Velasquez, Ariel, thoughts on Invicta, now part of CBS Sports Network? Any insight as to why they left Access TV? Oh, and here's Ant Evans. I mean, Ant Evans has become the, what was the name of that guy? Matt Moe? Was he Matt Moe?
Yes. Matt Moe, the one that is
I like how
on.
My favorite thing is that he writes, I can help here. No one asked for his help, but he's offering it, which is perfect. Anthem Sports and Entertainment bought Invicta 3 years ago and put the first few shows on its wholly owned Access TV channel. However, Access is not in many homes, and it didn't find an audience there. Anthem didn't invest in the product like it could have, and it began to lose momentum. Good for them, though. They got a CBS deal. Hopefully, it'll recover the audience there. Yes, I mean, it's CBS Sports Network. It's not the biggest platform, but good to be involved with a cable TV network that's going to hopefully air them on their linear platform and hopefully digitally as well. Their future seemed very murky for a minute. I think we need Invicta. I think it's extremely important to have an Invicta. I think it's a really, really, really important piece of the MMA puzzle, the MMA landscape. If you go back like 10 years ago, if you go back to 2013, 2012, 2014. The whole strawweight division came from Invicta, and they developed so many stars that are, Grasso and they had Cyborg on there, and Carla Esparza, and Irene Aldana, Amanda Nunes was on there, Joanne Calderwood was on there, Rose Namajunas was on there, and this is top of my head, so many names, and so we should all be rooting for them to survive and thrive. And so this is great. I'm very happy to see this, and let's see. And it's great that they have a schedule. It's great that they have like an actual, lineup of events coming up. This is all amazing news, in my opinion. Shannon Knapp is a survivor, and she has been in this business for a very long time and has probably had many ups and downs and probably a lot of moments where she thought, you know what, enough of this. But here she is with a solid partner, and hopefully they support her and they can stick around for a very long time. Need More Frank says, talk to me about an MMA moment that brings incomparable emotion / feeling to you. I'm admittedly having a rough go with my business lately and found myself rewatching Edwards versus Usman 1 last night. Dave Lavelle's between-round commentary, coupled with the knockout and post-fight speech, pretty much brings me to tears every time. Don't even get me started on the interview with Tim and Leon the Monday after your show. Although this moment is always a mix of emotions for me, I always feel it gives me a little extra ruach to persevere through these hard times. Amen. Do you or the crew have any similar MMA moments you turn to during hard times? Thank you and the entire crew for everything you do. This show gives me so much joy weekly. And then he added a meow, by the way. Is there a moment? I'm curious from you, GC, because you dove into the sport with two feet and like you've immersed yourself. Is there a moment that gives you the same type of feeling inside, warm feeling, emotion, all that stuff?
I mean, there's been a lot since I started on the show, but there's nothing that I really look to during hard times. Like I'm not going to go watch the Usman head kick or like Sugar knocking out Aljo, anything like that. But I mean, yeah, there's been some times that have evoked some insane emotion. Maybe next time I'm on hard times, I'll go back and watch the Holloway knocking Gaethje out.
You think that's it?
And see if it picks me up. I mean, that's probably the craziest I've ever acted during a fight.
Right.
was when he face punted Gaethje. So yeah, maybe I'll give that a try next time I'm on hard times.
Just curious, what is your favorite moment? Like, what is your favorite moment since you were in this crazy sport, since you arrived?
It's tough not to say the Holloway Gaethje knockout.
Wow.
I mean, it was so good. It was so good. Leon Usman is up there. I mean, the whole Yuri versus Glover fight, especially I was on vacation during that one, and I was watching it at like 7 a.m. In Italy, so I just have really fond memories of that. The Sugar moment was insane. Even the ones where like the guy that I was cheering for, like Gaethje knocking Poirier out, or like Topuria knocking Volk out, they're just such crazy moments that I'll never forget them. I mean, there's a million. It feels like we're gonna get a new one within a matter of months here. I mean, when Strickland beat Izzy, I mean, there's countless ones. What about you? You've been around for forever.
Yeah.
What do you go to when Ariel's down in the dumps? You're pulling up Fight Pass. What are you watching?
One of my favorite moments ever was when GSP beat Matt Hughes, because I've told the story of being in a bar in Montreal and telling my friends, hey, there's this guy named GSP. He's from our city. Like, we need to support him. This is a huge fight. He lost to this guy. It's UFC 65. It's in Sacramento, of all places. Like, we need to watch this fight. And so we went to a bar, and I thought that we'd be the only ones there because I didn't know anyone who was a fan of MMA. And then I got there, and I was like, holy shit, there's a line around the block. People actually care. And then we sat through the whole main card, and then GSP showed up, and then he head kicked him and won the belt. And he was super emotional, and I was emotional. And that's really the moment where I said, like, I want to be a part of this. I love this way too much to not be a part of it. And that was 2006. So that to me is like and obviously an easier one to tap into because like I wasn't a journalist, and now I try really hard to not get emotionally invested. Like I said before, you know, we are human beings, so it's just going to happen. But that's my favorite one. If I'm being 1,000% honest, it's the moments that give me the best feeling. And I feel the best watching our moments when I was a kid, and it's pertaining to the Knicks mainly. Like when I watch Larry Johnson's 4-point play, when I watch Ewing slamming home John Starks' missed layup in 1994, when I watch Ewing dunking over Mourning in 2000, things like that, the Starks dunk in 1983, all that stuff, the Houston shot, like I actually understand completely what this gentleman is talking about. Like, there are moments where I'm just like, you know what? I just want to feel something good inside. You certainly have moments like that, right? Georgia. So like I get that. Old telecasts, old moments, old interviews. I totally get that. 1,000%. You know moments like that?
Yeah, most of mine are like,
football.
Like I recently watched like a 45-minute video on the 2007 college football season just because of how insane it was.
It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, some stuff like that. It's good.
By the way, I kind of jumped into On the Nose, but your thoughts on 303?
One of my friends asked me how confident I was in it happening on Monday morning, and I said 10 out of 10. It's definitely not 10 out of 10 anymore.
So what do you think they should
4
do?
out of 10? I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing all this of, like you said, Yuri at the Octagon event on Saturday, and he asks if he's going to do it, and supposedly he said he was going to sign a contract, and the guy speculated about him filling in at 303, and he supposedly said nice speculation. But I mean, Pereira is in Australia right now. The fight is in 17 days. I don't know.
The Australia part doesn't concern me as much because if you look at his social media, his head coach is with him. So conceivably, could they just say, okay, we're just going to like post up here and train here? And like, Pereira's that kind of guy. Dare I say, Pereira's him. He's that dude, you know? As my son likes to say, he's Himathias. You know, he's, yesterday, my son came down, Walter, he's the one who usually gives me these lines. He came down first, well before his siblings to leave for school. And I was like, how are you always, here first? How do you always beat them? You all wake up at the same time. Why are you always down first? And he said, I'm built different. This is a 10-year-old, by the way. And dare I say, Alex Pereira built different, right? He comes from that kickboxing mentality.
I just can't appreciate these stories enough. Last week it was he made a layup.
He did.
It was like, I'm Himothy.
Yeah.
Now he gets up and walks down the stairs. I'm built different.
Yeah.
Just him going through everyday tasks and talking about how elite that makes him will never get old for me. This is great stuff.
This is
Him-Matthias?
Yeah, he says Him-Matthias.
What does that rhyme with?
Matthias.
I don't know.
Oh, you're just adding the HI onto the.
Matthias.
Oh yeah.
I think it's very
Under
clever.
Yeah.
I fucks with it.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Thank you. That's a good one.
Yeah, I guess not. 10 years old, they wouldn't be saying that.
What?
Fucks.
I'm pretty sure
they don't say that.
Oh.
But yo, like it's crazy. In the car, we're talking about Kendrick and Drake, and I've pretty much given up to now.
Who do they think won? Yeah.
We are Drake fans, but
you are Drake fans. You're a Champagne Poppy family.
Yes,
you've
but
admitted defeat.
We haven't admitted defeat, but we can't
agnostic.
deny the fact that some of those Kendrick songs are bangers. I mean, not like us. I mean, that's a banger. That's a banger.
Yeah,
in
I
fact,
want to say it's like the fastest to reach like 500 million streams or something, or however many it's at.
In fact, I entitled this week's On the Nose solicitation post.
I saw that.
I mean, it's just because that's all they're playing. But
should we put it in the Drake playlist? So when you're like, I need a banger, I'm like, well, here's Kendrick. I should do it. All right.
I mean, anything was better than the songs you chose.
All right.
You were choosing.
I mean, sometimes I'll go on YouTube and just type in just ambient sounds, and I'm like, I think this is the exact playlist that Frank was playing.
By the way,
the Neurogum,
a mood for like a palm reading.
By the way, you were playing like the interlude. You weren't even playing. So you were playing like
Look, some people fucks with the interlude. I'm one of them.
You were playing like the 3-minute piece that they play, like like when it's there's a Jay-Z track where it's like da na 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 na, thank you, you're far too kind, and then there's that whole other part on the back where he's just like, thank you to this person. That's what you were playing.
Yeah,
right.
Well, a lot of albums have interludes.
You know jazz, right?
Sure.
Frank downloaded it's the interlude
silence between the notes. That's the real music.
Yeah.
So the interlude between the tracks. That's the best work Drake's ever done.
Sure. Great for when people are filing into a live show.
Yeah. Turn off the auto-tune. Enjoy the vibes.
My favorite part about that was how many times we said, just, hey, can you just play Drake? And then he switched to like 4 different songs before finally going to Drake.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Oh, no, not only that, the songs would stop midway. They would just stop.
All of this was extremely intentional.
I think this was Frank coming out that he's a Kendrick Lamar stan.
All right, fair enough. Is there any? Okay, how about this exercise? Because I'm being honest, like a lot of these questions are great, but they're not. There's only one thing that we really need to be talking about right now, in my opinion. So we could get to the other ones later. Is there any fight that will soften the blow? Is there any matchup? Is there any sort of permutation of 2 people being matched up together that people will be like, mother effer, but I'm still down. I fucks with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the perfect term for it, is soften the blow. Like, that's the best that you can hope to do. Like, you just cannot replace Conor McGregor coming back from 3 years away and fighting Mike Chandler, which was assured to be just an absolutely insane fight. Soften the blow, like Alex versus Yuri too would soften the blow for sure. Anything beyond that that's actually feasible happening, I don't know, man.
Can I ask another question?
Yes.
Is there any fight where someone who has a ticket booked to Vegas is like, nah, I'll still go?
Go, yes.
Yeah, like I'm going to go to Vegas.
Think that they're getting their money's worth? No way. Hell
I'm
no.
thinking like someone who's, all right, well, I'm going to take the credit with the airline, wait till Conor's actually coming back, and I'm going to check it in then.
I was talking about this yesterday with someone, and I think most people who have like already set their heart on going will still go, but will just be bummed. Because as we said, like this isn't a boxing card, right? They're not going to scrap it. That is like DEFCON 1, and I don't think they're there yet, anywhere near there. And so I think there's most people who are like, fuck it, but we're still going to have a great time. It's Las Vegas in June, and we'll go to the Hall of Fame, and we'll go to UFC X, and we'll have a great time. And and just be happy that we get to see Ian Gary versus MVP and others. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if we get that video of Dana White, unfortunately, with like him being like, hey guys, in front of the wall, I think you need to announce a new date for Conor and a new main event.
Yeah, I like how you
have to
made it equivalent to the turkey
right?
with Tyson Fury, and
that softens the blow a little bit. But I don't see many options.
Definitely softens the blow of, all right, now we're going to do it in September, October, whenever, and instead we're going to do hypothetically Yuri versus Alex. Like, that's about the best that they could do.
The current plan is not the Sphere. That's not being talked about. And that kind of blows me away because I can't think of a better person to headline the Sphere than Conor. Like, imagine that Foggy Dew entrance in the Sphere.
In the Sphere. I just had a friend that went to a concert there, and it looked just insane. I can't even imagine what it's going to look like for a fight night. I could not fathom what it would be like for a Conor McGregor fight night.
Yes. It would be insane. I don't think the Sphere card has to be fully Mexican Independence Day related. Who's saying no to a Conor fight? You know what I mean? Even if the rest of the card is Conor McGregor. It's one thing that I thought about yesterday, but I looked into it and there's no truth to it. There's no validity to this. But I was racking my brain. I'm sitting there like, okay, there's Yuri Alex. Can they get Max to fight Chandler? Can you do DDP Strickland? Can you do DDP Izzy? Can you do Volkanovski Chandler? These are all things that have been discussed, but none of them at the moment, obviously, a done deal at all.
And didn't I just see an interview with DDP talking about like
he's waiting and all that?
Yeah, supposedly this is via Fight Wave of DDP saying like, you have to be smart about your career. He's not in it for the money. He's in it for
I don't think he's doing
legacy and everything like that. Like, taking a fight on 17 days notice does not seem like something that he's going to do.
Tough.
Put his belt on the line for the first time.
No. I think Strickland would do it.
Oh, for sure Strickland would do it. No doubt.
But
he did the back-to-back main events.
Sure.
And
he probably thinks like maybe it's going to be hard to get a title shot. It doesn't look like he's next, all that stuff. So maybe he does it. But you know what I was thinking? Here's like a total out of left field idea that I was thinking.
Throw it out.
You tell me if you think that this would help soften the blow. UFC pays out Fanmio. Give us Masvidal Diaz MMA main event 303. 1 week prior. Literally 7 days prior. Does that soften the blow?
I did not know where you were going with that when you mentioned Fanmio.
This is what I've been thinking about for the past 24 hours.
Man.
Does that soften the blow? I kind of think it does. No? Again, nothing is close. Nothing is in the stratosphere of Conor McGregor.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Just like my biggest thing with that, like, is what are the stakes tied to that?
It's just
like
interim BMF time. No, I'm just kidding.
Now we're talking. Silver to the silver.
By the way, would there be okay? How about this stance? I don't know if anyone gets a bigger pop. There's two people that get a massive pop if they step in on short notice. I don't know if anyone gets a bigger pop than Max Holloway. Meaning, if they announce Holloway, the BMF champ, is stepping in, again, nothing is close to McGregor, but I think the fans are pretty damn happy. Agree or disagree? Holy shit, what a legend.
I think people would be
2 weeks notice.
Excited, for sure. What if you did a
Pereira's the
combination
other.
of both? What if you did a combination of both?
2 fights. Jesus
You bought
Christ.
out Fanmio.
Oh,
and you buy out Fanmio and you get that as the co-main. Diaz Masvidal as the co-main, and then you get Holloway to step in against Chandler, or you get the light heavyweight title with Pereira versus Yuri. You get those two things, and you announce a new date for Conor. I mean, we're back. Is that going to happen?
By the way, if I'm Fanmio, I'm signing up for this yesterday. Take this off my hands.
July 6th, not doing $1 million buys?
I don't think so. Right? Here you go, guys. Here's $2 million. Thank you very much for keeping them on ice. Everyone's happy. MMA main event or co-main. And then you get something like, I don't know. The other one I was just going to say was I think Pereira gets a big, Pereira now is going to be fighting. if this would happen. 2 times at MSG.
Headline 300.
Headline 300
Headline International Fight Week.
On relatively short notice, right?
Yep.
Now this would be International Fight Week, 2 division champion, the Miami fight. Like this would be an all-time. This would be like an unheard of run.
It would be his 9th UFC fight as well.
Not even 10. That is absurd. Yeah, this is a bummer, man. It is a huge bummer. I'm not gonna lie, because like I really wanted the newer fans to experience a Conor fight. We're all invested. Can he come back? Is he back? Can he regain his old form? I don't care how you feel about Michael Chandler. How do you not feel for him? You know what I mean? This dude has been patient. Oh, jeez.
It's been what? 19 months since we've seen him last?
Yeah, it will be November of 22.
Yeah, 2022. UFC 281? That's the last time we saw him?
Pereira was the middleweight champion. He's lost the belt and won a whole new title since then. You do wonder if there's a lesson to be learned here. And I don't think the UFC needs to learn this lesson, but it's just so hard to put all your eggs in one basket in this sport, you know? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you can't say like every card needs 2 title fights, because that's almost impossible. But I don't know how you fix situations like this. And to be fair, like there haven't been a lot of emergency situations like this where everyone was freaking out and they needed to scramble. These used to be a lot more common pre-PI days. But the PI helped, I think, curb a lot of these injuries, or last second disasters, or drug testing things. Like the PI really, really helped in a lot of ways. Yeah, I don't know. I just hope that at some point we get some sort of resolution, some sort of
we're gonna have to, right?
Some sort of statement, by the way, nothing will make me happier than Dana going on his Instagram right now and being like, "You guys are a bunch of assholes," you know?
You guys.
Use guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I did see it. Yeah, I did see a theory thrown out that like this is all just so like it can happen. And then he goes to the press conference and someone's like, "Do you see what Helwani said about the fight potentially being off?" And him just being like, a bunch of hooey. It didn't come from us. You can't trust.
If it didn't come from us, right? Which I predicted would happen at some point if this stayed the course, but it unfortunately doesn't look like it is at this precise moment. And something's got to give. I don't know. It's a tough situation. MVP Ian Gary. The other thing is, I don't think they would do this, but you pull it off pay-per-view and you make an ABC card. I don't know if you could do that, because you can make up the pay-per-view.
International Fight Week becomes
like a glorified
fight night.
They've done that once before, back in like February of 17, I think it was. Might have been 18. It was a fight night, I think, with Wonderboy Thompson, but tough. It's interesting that all this is happening at the same time as the docu-series comes out, because I think people have a greater appreciation for all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and in particular, I've told you guys that Hunter's is the guy making these calls and doing this stuff. And so it's like I'm seeing all the memes, people posting of him and, like writing out what he's probably saying to people right now. And I think it's good that the fans know this, because every team, as you know, has a GM, has an owner, has a football operations, basketball operations guy. Like there's so many different people in the front office. To most fans, they think it's just the Dana show behind the scenes. Maybe Shelby, maybe McMaynard, but arguably the most instrumental person, the one who's like burning the midnight oil and calling everyone, is Hunter. So I don't envy him right now. I don't think this is a fun spot to be in at all.
You think we're going to get the behind the scenes of this on season 2?
Fuck. That would be great.
Riveting stuff.
Here's a writer. Don't know if On the Nose is before the Raul Rosas interview, but can you ask about what he was saying in that post-fight interview? Sounded like Chiwiwi. Thanks, guys.
So someone asked him about it after he did it, and he just said it's something that him and his friends say.
Said it was just a fun word.
Yeah, like sometimes when I post a video of him like doing it, people are like, "This is like a Mexican chant that he says."
How does it sound again?
But supposedly it's just something him and his boys do.
Okay, well, I'll ask him.
Shout
19
out.
years old makes sense.
This is a fun one considering what we've been talking about today. Alex Z. Ariel, given your credibility in the news breaking department, what are your thoughts on the Woj and Shams tension over the Lakers head coaching job? On a side note, who was your favorite insider before getting into the business? Love me some Bob McKenzie and the late Chris Mortensen. Much love to you and your crew. And by the way, rest in peace to the legend, Jerry West. Golly. I used to have a Jerry West jersey back in the day, the blue Minneapolis Lakers jersey with the cursive on it. Yeah, that is, I mean, to lose Jerry West and Bill Walton in the span of a couple of weeks is a huge bummer. People know him as the logo, but one of the greatest players of all time and then one of the greatest executives of all time. In any event, this is a fascinating story. Adrian Wojnarowski drops the news, I think, last Thursday that the Lakers are going to target Dan Hurley, who is the coach of UConn, back-to-back national champion. And, you know, people who follow this sort of thing know that Woj wrote a book about Dan's father, the great Bob Hurley, Miracle at St. Anthony, I believe it is. He was the head coach for decades at St. Anthony's in Jersey City. And now that Dan isn't being considered, that he's dropped out, whatever, people are throwing shots saying that this was a sort of concerted effort on the part of Woj and or the Hurleys to get more money from UConn. And I saw Shams took a little subtle dig on the McAfee show. I mean, there's things that you can, you know, attach to in that, you know, I think the story came out at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. That though, if a story comes out at that time, it's usually something that was planted beforehand and talked about beforehand, not exactly breaking news per se that's happening in the moment. But, you know, these things definitely happen. And by the way, Shams throwing stones, he's 100% done that too. Everyone, you work with your sources. I mean, to pretend like this stuff doesn't happen is is a little bit naive. But there's obviously a relationship there with the Hurley family. And the relationship could go both ways in the sense that, A, it could just be a negotiation ploy, or he's just really close and he had the inside scoop. You know, like, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It could just be like he's their trusted guy and they gave him the inside scoop. So I don't know what the story is. But the whole world of breaking news and insider, it's not a fun world. I'll tell you that much. Give me this every single day over that. And that's why I've kind of taken my foot off the gas a little bit. Obviously, when you need me to save the day for stories like this, I'm happy to, you know, raise my hand. But the day-to-day is exhausting. I mean, you talk to these guys in person and they're staring at their phone all day, you know? It's not very fun. Favorite insiders, yeah, I mean, you can't take anything away from Woj. He's incredible. He's prolific. Bob McKenzie back in the day, TSN, incredible. Peter Gammons back in the day, incredible. Peter Vesey back in the day on the NBA on NBC telecasts, incredible. Peter Vesey used to be on the halftime show on NBC, and one day someone like linked to him on Twitter, and then I clicked on his profile and I was blocked. I don't even know how that's possible. I've never tweeted, I've never followed the guy. You know, some people like do like mass blocks. Think you could do that? I think that's what happened. Anyway, it's a crazy world.
Can I break the fourth wall real quick?
Please.
What's going on with your laptop? Like, it hasn't made the sound in a while. It's not on.
It's just been on overdrive.
Okay, but it's not like you have it sitting on that case or anything.
No, and it's not warm.
Okay, well, maybe it's nothing.
Jeez. I thought you were going to like offer up something fun.
I said, oh.
So good. We don't have our next guest, right?
No, sir.
Hey, Ariel, true or false? Jake Paul and Mike Perry fighting July 20th. This is from Adriano. I do know Jake Paul really wants to stay on the July 20th date. Netflix didn't want to explore anything else, so they moved it to November 15th. Mike Tyson fight. I do know Perry, one of the names discussed. I do know Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., another name discussed. I do know as of right now, it's not a done deal. And I do know that, there was some talk of Perry and Dennis. Dennis has talked about this on his social media, and that could still be in the mix as well. Wouldn't be surprised if he fights on the 20th, but as of right now, not a done deal, and he really does want to fight on the 20th. I'm down with it. I'm down with it in a silo, like I'm down with it on paper. I do think it is a risk to take a fight before another fight, even if Mike Tyson is 57, because, Mike Perry's a dog and he can either win or cut you up, or, there's risks when you fight people. How do you feel about this, GC? You like this?
Yeah, love it if it happens.
You like the fight. You're into the fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, the dog that Mike Perry is, I think it would be excellent.
Who do you think wins that fight?
Would be amazing. Man, I don't know. I mean, Mike Perry's been doing boxing lately, but obviously bare knuckle, it's an entirely different sport. I feel like he has an advantage over anyone in that just because it is bare knuckle. But I want to see it. I mean, I think this is a nice test for Jake Paul. I'm really not too worried about the potential of like it calling off the fight in November. I would rather him take the risk and stay on this card and fight Mike Perry. Plus, I'd love to see Mike Perry get a nice little payday as well.
Yeah. By the way, you say the build. I mean, the build is like a month.
yeah. I guess it is like literally, what is it, 31 plus 8?
It's crazy.
A little simple math there. You come up with 39 days away. That's close.
It's a risk, man.
You're talking about 6 weeks at most.
Yeah. There's a lot that it can make the next fight bigger. He goes out there and knocks out a dog like Mike Perry, but Mike Perry's different than some of these other guys. Like he will go in there, kill me,
Go with me.
Oh, 100%.
Let's get into a dog fight. I want to see Jake Paul in a dog fight with a dog and Mike Perry. Let's do it. I'm not too worried about the next fight. I would much rather see this one.
Oh, 100%. I'm just looking at it from the vantage point of the Jake Paul business.
Oh, yes. Yeah. If you're
there's a risk. There's a risk involved.
Yeah, there's a risk involved. Let's do it, though. You got to take risks in life, and Mike Perry, Jake Paul is a great one.
He'd be bigger than Mike.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously one of the drawbacks, but
not that much younger. Like you can't, at this, on this particular one, you can't say like, oh, he's fighting an older guy.
Yeah, I mean, what is Mike Perry, 35, 36?
No. I think Mike Perry's like 32. What?
Wow.
You don't believe me?
No. Of course. I'm not accusing you of lying about Mike Perry's age.
Think he's Mike Perry?
I think that threw me off even more. 32 years old, yeah.
Born in 91.
Sheesh.
Chee-wee-wee.
Mike Perry's just barely older than me, man.
Well, he looks older, right?
Yeah, it just feels like because he had the UFC career and now it feels like he's been in BKFC for like 3 or 4 years, like it just feels like he's been around the block for longer. Yeah. 27-year age difference between the Mikes there.
Yeah.
Perry and Tyson. So yeah, sign me up for platinum, man. Nice little summer at the box office with Mike Perry. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit bummed that it isn't done. I really thought it was done.
Done deal. No, at the moment, no.
Yeah.
Do I think he fights on the 20th? I think there's a good chance.
Yeah, I mean, through my grapevines, I'd heard some rumblings, and then I saw all the stuff yesterday.
Man, you got sources too, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
By the way,
obviously they remain unnamed as it has to be.
By the way, here's a little tip for everyone online. The Happy Punch report. Love the Happy Punch guys, but their report said that this fight was happening via sources within Jake Paul's camp. That is the telltale sign that it's not sources within the Jake Paul's camp. This is what everyone wants when they tell you things like off the record. They say, "Hey, if you put it out, can you say it's from the other side's, camp so that we don't get in trouble?" They always do that. So no one would ever want to say, "Hey, you can say it's from the camp, but don't say my name." If anything, they want it to be on the other side or have nothing to do with it, just keep it anonymous. Do you know what I'm saying? So the report said from within Jake's camp, and I was like, oh, that's 1,000% not within Jake's camp. That's actually the opposite side or someone that's trying to like spoil the party, and they just want the blame and the chaos to be within Jake's camp and people pointing fingers and leaks and all that stuff. So just a little a little tip from the biz, so to speak. All right, very excited to talk to our next guest. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's an absolute legend of the game, and he's returning to action this Saturday. Yes, June 15th against his old foe, Chael Sonnen. It's happening. June 15th, 2024, Spaten Fight Night in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's Anderson Silva, the Spider, against Chael Sonnen 3. Unbelievable. Here's Anderson joining us. There he is. Wow, the legend. Bom dia, Anderson.
How are you, my brother?
How are you?
I'm good, my brother. Thank you for one more time giving this space to talk to you. Wow, I'm so happy. Thank you, brother.
It's always great to talk to you and an honor. So thank you for the time. Anderson, can I ask you, when did this whole idea start? You versus Chael in a boxing match, number 3. How long ago did this all come to your attention?
Wow, this is it's starting to work with the team, the Ambev and Spartan team. The commercial start in Praga in the commercial. When I finish the commercial, the team, the Ambev team with the Spartan team with my team start talking, and the people, why not put on the amazing and special fight between Anderson and the other legend? When people come talk to me and say, "Wow, that's great. I'm so exciting. Why don't put this fight in Brazil?" And the people say, "Yeah, that's amazing." So let's go talk to the different fighters, different legends in OC. And couple days ago, the people come to this amazing idea to put it Chair and I to fight in Brazil. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so exciting.
And so originally people were saying that this would be your retirement fight, but then I heard this is just your last fight in Brazil, right? Is that the plan? This will be your last fight in Brazil, but you're not going to retire on Saturday.
No. I'm not retired. I just put in my last fight in Brazil, and I'm a little sad. I'm so happy, but a little sad because this event is very close. It's not for everybody, and I'm excited, but at the same time, a lot of fans call me and talk to me and send me the message. So why you don't put in this for everybody, for open for the public? And I say, I'm sorry, guys, but I don't have control for that situation. But I mean, I think the whole team, Bev and the Spartan, working hard for make the good show, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
So yes, my understanding is here in the United States, we won't be able to watch this. Do you know why they have made this decision? Why it's just available in Brazil?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay. And my other understanding is it's kind of like a VIP exclusive event. Like I think only like 800
Yes.
people or something. It's very, very VIP,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very, very strict people, it's only VIP people. I'm I'm so happy. I'm so exciting because I love fight. And I have the opportunity to fight again with Chael, give the good show, this big gift to my fans, in Brazil. And that's my last fight here in Brazil. I'm so excited. I'm so happy, But yeah, it's very private event. I don't know why, but anyways, I'm so happy.
Why did you decide to do boxing and not MMA?
I mean, because the whole team talked about that, and the people say, "Oh, let's go make the good event and put on this boxing exhibition fight." between you and Chael, and say, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. And and I'm 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 so excited. I'm so happy. I'm so excited and so happy because there's a lot of things in my mind, and this is my last fight here in Brazil. I fight again in Brazil, my last fight here. Chael is accept this fight, and a lot of people love Chael here, and that's the good moment for us.
A lot of memories, a lot of nostalgia, right? You're thinking about it's allowing you to think about your whole incredible career.
Yeah, Ariel, I'm so exciting because a lot of people talking about that. The people come talk to me about this trilogy, between me and Chael, and I'm so happy because um, Chael and I can do it a big show for everybody and stay um, exciting the people. Continue putting the emotion in the people. That's very interesting, very special for me.
The first two times that you fought Chael, there was obviously a rivalry, right? You guys did not like each other, but now it seems like
No, definitely not. Fight is fight. I can say, I never can say that I don't like Chael. Is Chael is the first guy in this sport, the MMA sport, start to talk the trash talk, and the other guys come and doing the same because Chael start that. And I'm so happy, and I respect Chael a lot because Chael is so smart guy in putting the different uh uh the Chael put in the MMA in different level because Chael using the whole energy and the whole mind to promote the fight in different level. You know what I mean? And I'm so happy. I respect Chael a lot, and the people in general, the fans in general, love this the trash talk. And Chael is the grandmaster in the
yes.
trash talk.
Yes, and clearly you guys are on good terms now, and there's love and admiration. But back in 2010, like UFC 117, he said a lot of crap
Oh my
about you.
god.
You didn't like him then, right? I mean, that was intense. The face off when you're looking and he's looking at you, like that was intense stuff in Oakland.
Yeah, of course, because it's two big fighters, two big legends, and Chael using your strategy to try to change my mind, and I use my strategy, and that's Chael helped me to come better fight, and I agree. I helped Chael to come a better fight too, and that you have everybody have in your memories, and UFC has this amazing two fight in your memory in your life, and that's amazing. I think uh, Chael and I put in the UFC in different level.
100%. Those two fights were gigantic. And I'm wondering for this particular fight, how long have you trained for it? How long has the training camp been for?
Well, I never stopped training.
Okay.
That's the point. I never stopped training. I train every day. I never stopped training in my life. That's the point. I of course I training a little bit more for this fight. I think 4 or 5 months. I'm in Brazil in Bahia to train with my coach, my boxing coach, with the whole team, Robson, Conceição, Ebert, and the other fighters, professional fighters, amateur fighters. The guys fight for the Olympic Games, start training for Olympic Games. And I'm so excited because I have I have this opportunity to continue training in high level with these young kids and train with my son too, Khalil, and that's I'm so lucky. I every day when I wake up in the morning, I say, thank you, God, for everything you give to me. And thank you for giving the power to continue uh, doing something I love in my life.
Speaking of your son, Khalil, he will be on this card as well. So that's very cool to be able to.
Yes, Khalil fight in the same car, and I'm so exciting, because I don't know, you remember, Khalil is a baby and
Yeah.
come to my fight 2 or 3 times. And now I'm in the same car, my son in the same car. And it's, wow, I'm lucky. I'm so lucky, I just say thank you, God, every day. I just pray and put my knees in the ground and say thank you, God, for everything.
Was that a goal of yours to stick around long enough to share a card with your son, or is this just something that's happened recently?
No, this is the people work for make this show, asking to um, my team and my coach, what about Khalil? What about putting your sons to fight? And the first idea is Gabriel and Khalil too, but Gabriel have your own fights and right now, and I can put in Gabriel in the same car. But Khalil say, "Oh, really? I go fight in the same car to my dad? That's amazing."
Yeah.
That's to my coach, Coach Doria, to put in Khalil in the same car.
Your son came on your behalf when you were inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. You weren't there. This month, you and Chael are going to be inducted together for UFC 117. Are you going to attend the ceremony?
Probably because I don't know. I need to check it out my schedule because the last time I'm working a movie, and I can go to present to stay there to to enjoy the moment, and I talked to Khalil. Please, Khalil, go try to represent me, and Khalil go, and probably this time I go. I need to check it out my whole schedule, but thank you, God. Maybe I can
Okay.
go. We'll see.
Were you sad that you couldn't be there for the ceremony?
Yes, absolutely. Because, is the moment so important for me, for my legacy, and a lot of people talk a lot of things about that, but I say no, because I have a work. I have my contract with the movie. I can't go because um, I have two things. I'm working the movie and I'm the one the guy to help to uh write the movie, and the people say, oh, is it you have 3 more scenes, you can't go because you need to stop the whole movie, and I say no, I can't go, I'm sorry, but I talked to Khalil and Khalil represent me.
Okay. And so when last time we saw you when you fought Jake Paul on that night, or even in the aftermath, was there any part of you that thought that was it for you? Did you ever consider stopping to fight after that fight?
No, definitely not. Why?
I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm just
Definitely
curious.
not. No, definitely not. You know, Everybody talking about, because Jake only fight with the old guys and blah blah blah. I mean, let me tell you something. I respect the people when people talk a lot of things about the people the guy the same, Jake. But I respect more Jake and the people have uh, courage to doing something different,
Hmm.
and that uh, Jay have my respect because Jay continue training every day. The guy working hard every day. After my fight with Jay stop the fight and doing a lot of things and go inside the trailer to edit your own videos, So why the people don't respect this kid? The people need respect because the guy is make good, successful in your own job. And the people don't have a courage to doing the same, start talk bullshit. And that's the problem. I respect it a lot because, you know, the kid changed the whole game in this area. And I'm so happy because um, I'm part of that. Doesn't matter the result, I'm lost, but I don't care because I know how much I'm working hard. I know Jake working hard too, and I know how much Jake working hard every day to make something different in this new game, you know, and I respect a lot. That's it.
How do you feel about him fighting Mike Tyson, who's going to be 58 when they fight?
I mean, that's so interesting. A lot of people talk, because Mike Tyson's old and blah, 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 but it doesn't matter. That's not the, it's a different game. It's a different sport. It's entertaining. It's not the same you see Canelo and the other different level boxing guys. Mike Tyson don't need to prove nothing for anybody. I believe in Jake don't need proving nothing for everybody. It's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the people need to understand.
In your
It's
mind,
different. It's completely different.
would you fight till 57, 58, or is there an age where you want to stop fighting?
I don't know. It's very difficult for me because I have my producing company. I have my academies. I have my business, and it's very difficult. I put in my whole team to work for me, and the guys call me every day to resolve the little problems. But I'm so lucky because I can. I have a time to put in the good people to work for me and come to doing something I love it to do. And that's I'm so happy, I'm so lucky because I I create with my whole team something I can stay outside of my company, outside of my other business to continue fight. And of course, I need to stay more time with my company, with my team inside my company, my producer company, and with my different projects outside the fight. But I have a good team to work and give me support. That's the more important, and I'm so lucky.
If your next fight, by the way, do you have your next fight already after this one? Do you already know when you'll fight again?
No, I don't know, but I start to negotiate the my next fight. We'll see.
Oh,
Maybe in Saudi. I don't know. I just waiting for to the situation come more clean.
against who? Can you tell us a hint who it might be against?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Are there any options,
So
or
I'm
who do you
just
want to fight?
waiting.
Who do
But
you want to fight? Did you have a dream opponent left? And is it Roy? Is it Roy?
no, I don't have a dream opponent.
Roy Jones.
Maybe I don't know. But maybe Roy. But he's not. He's
No, it's
a
not Roy. Okay.
different guy.
Okay.
But it's a good challenge for me. I know, but I can't talk about because I'm not. I don't have permission to talk about that, and I'm waiting for the contract and everything.
But are you done with MMA? Are all your fights going to be boxing?
Yeah, sometimes the people call me, the different people in Japan call me to fight in Japan again. My last MMA fight come in Japan. I mean, I train every day, but I just waiting because I don't know. it's a lot of negotiation with my team. Oh, the people offer for you this fight in Japan, this fight here, because is the story is so amazing because you start your international career in Japan, and this is a good story to talk. Your last fight in Japan for your fans in Japan, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting, and the guys talked with my team and negotiate with my team, and I'm just waiting. We'll see.
So why did you make the decision to say this is going to be your last fight in Brazil when clearly you still want to fight, you still love it, you still train? Why make that call for this fight?
I mean, because I don't know. In Brazil, it's very difficult. You have a big event, the big promote events here, and that's I the people say, oh, let's go. Say this is the last fight in Anderson, Brazil, because you don't have the people the same power the Ambev and Spartan has to promote the big event the same this, and that's my last fight in Brazil. I'm sad because for me it's a very important to doing this last fight here to my whole fans, but we'll see. The people can see the fight in the TV, and I just go do my best to make a good show for my fans.
And can you tell us like the rules? Like, is it how many rounds, how many minutes, all those things?
I think it's a 5 rounds. The gloves is I don't know, but I think it's 14 on.
Oh,
and yeah, in the 5 rounds. Yeah.
How do you expect it to play out? The fight.
Oh, I don't know, man. I training hard to make a good show, and I think Chael come very prepared too, and let's go doing a good show for everybody, and something nostalgic for everybody, the trilogy between me and Chael is so amazing.
I love it. And before we let you go, Anderson, and I hope you don't mind, I'd like to bring in Chael for a minute. Just if we could all talk between us, just us three friends. Yes, here he is.
There?
Yes.
Where's Chael?
Chael, where are you? Chael P, there he is. There's the back.
I'm in the same hotel with Chael. Yeah, I don't see Chael, bro.
Chael, where you at?
I was just going to say that. I was just going to tell Ariel that Anderson and we could be next door, Ariel. I haven't seen him yet, but we're in the same building.
Yeah, in the same building. I saw the kids, but I don't see the Chael here.
I think he's hiding.
Anderson, by the way, I like those glasses on you, by the way. You look very smart.
I mean, I use this glass because I'm old, man. I can't see. I don't use a glass. I can't see. I'm old.
I understand. No, I think of that too because I have a hard time as I get older. And Charles Oliveira was fine. He just got his eyes fixed. He had the LASIK eye surgery. But Charles Oliveira won the world championship not being able to see very well. I just think it's an impressive thing. Like when my eyes started to go, I had more appreciation for what Dubronx was going through.
Yeah.
Guys, isn't it amazing? Wow. Here we are. I mean, we were there in Oakland. We were there in Las Vegas, 117, 148. There was so much animosity. There was so much tension. There was so much trash talk. And I feel like you guys are the best of friends now. I mean, Chael, could you have ever imagined that we get to this point where you and Anderson are essentially like BFF singing Kumbaya before a fight?
No, I can't. And it is nostalgic. I mean, I'm an opponent of Anderson's now going to be for a third time, but I'm a fan, man. I can tell you everything he did. He used to fight over in Japan and they didn't show it on TV. So I would read about it, right? The internet was different back then. You could keep a secret, but I would read about it when I got to work on Monday. This was like 2002. And it was fight after fight after fight. This guy named Anderson Silva, he danced on the way to the ring, and he was stopping one guy in like 6 seconds, and another guy in 30 seconds, and another guy in 20 seconds. Like it was just bang, bang, bang. Doing it at 170 pounds. He was this tall, skinny guy that could dance. And I've been following him since then, Ariel.
Yeah, that's great. And watch me a lot. And when I come to UFC and come fight with me and beat me for 5 rounds, it's funny, but it's not funny because after this fight, I'm back home
Thanks.
and I don't feel my legs. I don't feel my body. I don't feel my face because Chael punched my face a lot. And everybody talked to me, oh, you're great. You fight. I say great because it's not you fight with him. It's great because you're not there to fight around Chael beating your ass. But it's okay, you know.
I love this.
That's very sweet, actually. I appreciate that, Anderson. Thank you.
And
Come on, it's not sweet, bro. That's I talk to everybody, you know. So me and you just doing this sport in different level, and this matter happen. The people can talk a lot, but the people can't talk about me and you because only us make the good show. This big two shows in UFC, nobody can see today, you know, because it's different. It's about passion, it's about love, it's about challenge yourself. And you and I give this for UFC, for the fans, you know.
True. That's true. Errol, we're getting recognized. They're putting us in the Hall of Fame. They're putting that fight in the Hall of Fame in 2 weeks. So
I heard
we're getting a little recognition for that. That's always nice to see.
Of course, UFC 117. And Anderson just told us that he's hoping to attend the ceremony. He couldn't attend when he was inducted, but
absolutely.
We have to see both of you on the stage together as pals, right? I mean, it wouldn't be the same if one of you wasn't there.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
By the way, Anderson, any concern? You know, Chael's been showing us his gloves. He put some rocks in the gloves yesterday, talking about all kinds. I'm not trying to blow your spot, Chael, but any concerns about safety or anything like that Chael might have up his sleeve?
I mean, bro, let me tell. I saw the video, you know, and I say, oh my God, I need to prepare for something crazy because probably Chael go beating me, kick my face. A lot of things. I don't know. I don't know. When you're talking about Chael, you can wait everything.
And
you know.
And who is this, Chael? Who is this? You've got an ace.
This is Sarah. Oh,
look, you see that? I'm lucky.
This is my son.
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
How's it going?
Sarah got to meet Anderson in the hotel a couple of days ago, and Anderson's son is on the card fighting. So Thero's saying, hey, wait a minute. If his son gets to be part of this, I got to be part of it too. So Thero got out of school 3 days early and flew out here. He'll be working the quarter, and it'll be a family event.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's the future. That's the people don't realize, you know. And Chael and I is doing the different things for everybody. You know, the people can talking about that for rest your life. You know, the new generation can talking about that. You know, and I'm so lucky because imagine one thing, right? So Chael is amazing fighter and the legend, and I'm working hard to make something special for Brazilians and my fans in the world. And both together in a big show for these fans in the world. You know, everybody not the same age can see us, you know, can talking about us for rest of their life. You know, this is amazing.
It's a beautiful thing.
So amazing.
One last thing that I'll ask Chael with you here, Anderson. Chael, do you feel like you are being brought to Brazil as an opponent for Anderson to beat and have this great celebration? Do you feel like you're there to kind of play a role, do the job, so to speak? And how do you feel about that? Because this feels like a coronation, a celebration of the great Anderson Silva, but yet you are there to be an opponent too, right?
Yeah, no, you make a fair point. And I'll tell you this, Ariel, like this is quite a thing in Brazil. We didn't really realize it, but my son and I we're driving today to pick up some souvenirs for people that didn't make it. Anderson and I were on the side of a bus, and then there was a billboard that we passed. You know, this is Silva and Sonnen, and then there's commercials going on TV. Like I must tell you, when I got here, I did not understand quite how big it was. So yeah, there's something there. And we are getting along quite nicely. I don't like to manufacture conflict, but I will share with you, Errol, the rules are stiffer than they were when we first fought in MMA. I mean, we are only allowed to punch each other in the body and in the head with our left and our right hands. Like, this is kind of a grueling thing we're getting ready to do.
Amen.
Okay, but remember, this is exhibition fight. Don't beat it too hard because I have I'm grandfather now, and I need you talking about that with my grandson. And that's you need to, come go slow with me. I'm old too, man.
Unbelievable.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Anderson, we'll let you go. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. It's always an honor to speak to you. Thank you for the time and good luck on Saturday. Obrigado. And parabéns on making this whole fight.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Cool.
There he is.
See you, Anderson. Thank you.
The great
See
Anderson.
you, buddy. Bye.
This is amazing. Chael, great to see you as well. We'll spend some time. And Thero's here. I mean, this is amazing. It's a whole family. And just to confirm, your son, how old are you, Thero? Are you 10, 11?
I turned 9 on the 4th. I turned 9 on the 4th.
Jeez, you look like you're 14, if I'm being honest. I was trying to be, you're a big guy. You're going to be in the corner for your dad on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Now, every cornerman has a role. So what is your specific role? I would imagine you're head coach, but you let me know.
The second head coach, actually.
Wow. And is this the first time?
Head coach is his grandfather, but Thero will have the water. He will have the mouthpiece. He'll help with the warm-up in the back on the focus mitts. He'll be part of everything.
And is this the first time that you're in your dad's corner?
Yes.
Are you nervous?
No, not really. I mean, I have my dad here to protect me, of course, so,
Wow, that is amazing.
Really.
Look at that.
Could you imagine? My daughter was worried earlier, but apparently there's something called Pennywise. We had to sweep the room. We had to stand in the hallway where the room was swept because my son told her that Pennywise was waiting for her. I don't know Pennywise. I grew up on Bugs Bunny and Popeye and Pluto, but yes, something called Pennywise. Prius. Pennywise, we're good. Pennywise would be scared to death of me, Errol. Could you imagine? I would whip Pennywise's ass. Could you even imagine?
And 2 times
if
on
she's
Saturday.
sitting around worried about Pennywise, imagine what Pennywise is telling his parents about Chael Sonnen.
Amen.
No, I don't want to go out there. Chael's out there.
Chael, I'm old enough to remember a time where you needed all kinds of security and they had to fly you in and there was all kinds of concerns about your safety. It's not the same. I feel like you're beloved in Brazil now, right? Is the reception different than the last time you were there?
Well, we have the same security and we have the same precautions, but I got to tell you, they've made us feel very welcome. I mean, everybody's been very nice. We haven't met a jerk. And, sometimes you'll get like a heckler in the background. I'll get those in America where, maybe people are there and they're being nice to you or, you're in a media event. But then somebody is yelling, you're going to get knocked out. I hate you. And we didn't have anything like that. Errol, this has been a very positive thing. I must tell you, I didn't know how big this was. I mean, this is, and I'm telling you that because I know you're a fan, so I'm trying to bring you part of it, but I did not know what a thing this was until I got here. I mean, everybody's talking about it. We've had boxers coming to our events. I met a guy yesterday who's on the card. He's an Olympic silver medalist, and he was coming and showing us respect, even though we're getting ready to do his sport. It's a big deal out here, man. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. Like, I have a very legitimate shot of redemption. It won't just be something that only I will know or I'll send you a text and now a couple of us know. Like, there's a lot of people that are going to watch this fight, and I have a shot to fix my life.
Okay, that's a very deep thing that you just said at the end there. What do you mean by that when you say fix your life?
Well, I have three things in sport, but sports was such a part of my life. I mean, I did them since I was, 8.5 years old, and none of them went the right way. I lost in the state finals. I lost in the national finals. I lost in the UFC finals. And I mean, there's counseling and things that are involved when you have those traumatic experiences of trying to basically let yourself know, hey, that sport is not a big deal and quit being a baby. But as easy as it is to say, it's not easy to do when I don't have memories of anything else. Like I didn't have social events and friends and sleepovers and things like this. I was always in practice. So when it doesn't go your way, it's one of those things that stays with you, and it would be a massive opportunity to fix it. I remember Rashad Evans had lost like 5 fights in a row. It might have even been 6, and he left the UFC. And he came back in Eagle when Khabib was doing a show. And Rashad had a match, and it wasn't widely seen, and it wasn't widely attended, but he knew. And he knew that he had stopped the losing streak, changed. Not only did he win the fight, he won every round, and then he could feel good about himself, and he was proud of himself. And that might sound like a small deal, but it's a massive opportunity, and I've got it.
Would this soften the blow of those first 2 fights?
Yes. It wouldn't replace those 2 fights. I mean, those happen, and it's not just about who can beat who up and things like this. The most important part of our sport is time. Can you beat a guy at a certain time? Conor McGregor and Chandler are seeing this right now, right? I mean, it's not a matter of who's better than who or what the odds makers say or how does your leg feel or how's training camp. Can you beat him on June 29th at T-Mobile Arena, 7 p.m. or not? That is the only question that those two have. I bring them just as an example. Mm-hmm. So no, I would not make believe that if I got the jump on him that I'm going to grab the mic and go cut a Tito Chuck-esque type speech. I realize what the stakes were, and I realize that they're not there now. But yes, inside and internally, yeah. And I'll stop by Cleveland and see the guy from the NCAA, and I'll stop by Medford and see the guy from high school state if I had the opportunity.
You know, it's wild because you mentioned Chandler and Conor, and usually these days you come on the show, we do a show together. We're talking about current events. We're talking about you fighting on Saturday, which hasn't been a thing for the last few years, obviously, since you retired. And so I'm just wondering, when did this reach your doorstep? When did this come on your radar? And were you in right away, or did it take some convincing?
No, I was in. I was slightly preparing for a possibility of George Masvidal. So then when I actually got the call for George Masvidal, the first call was from Mams in Misfit. And it was never established if that was going to be kickboxing, boxing, MMA, like that. That was never fully worked out. That was being worked on. But, once those things get said, once you come out and you tell the public, I'm going to beat up George Masvidal, it naturally draws you back into the practice room. It naturally draws into finding coaches and having the private one-on-ones. And, well, what if this actually did happen? Late night, getting out of bed, going for runs because I can't sleep because I'm sitting there thinking about him or however that might go. And when I put the word out about George, when I finally got the call that, hey, do you agree to be his backup if this fight with Nate doesn't go down? It was as though that word got to Brazil, and it just turned out that they were looking for someone for Anderson, or it was something along these lines. And I said, yeah. And they said, what's going to be his retirement fight? Can we bill as the same for you? But I said, no. I said, if I fight Anderson, it's a comeback fight. I'm fighting George Masvidal. This is part of the training and part of the process to get me to that turkey that never should have come on your show, and he never should have mentioned my name.
I know. It's a probably feel bad, but you remember I texted you after. I said, I feel like there's something there. By the way, Thero, I'm not sure if you were young enough to remember, but there was once a time where your father and I kind of built a platform. It was known as ESPN Plus. I think it's still around. We built it with our hands off our back. Does he mention how much fun he had doing a show with me called Ariel and the Bad Guy? And does he mention maybe every night at the dinner table how much he misses having me in his life on a weekly basis? I was just curious.
No.
Okay.
I don't mention Ariel. Hey, What about the hat? What about the hat in the workout room? Do we have the Ariel and the Bad Guy hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're proud of it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
He's
He's no selling. He knows
fine.
good and well I talk fondly about you.
Kayfabe. I respect it. So that fight against George, would that be a Misfits fight? Would that be a Fan Mio fight, which is what they're doing now with Nate? Would that be an MMA fight? What is that?
In my mind, it's a boxing match. That's what was always discussed. When it came up with Misfits, that's when they were talking about, hey, it might be MMA, it might be kickboxing. But I'd always gone into an understanding that he was challenging me to boxing. That if I accept the challenge, then we're doing it in boxing. So, yeah, and this new thing. Look, I hope he and Nate get that off the ground, man. You go watch those press conferences, which is the only data, like the only numbers that a fan like me would have standing on the outside. They're pretty big hits. Like those two definitely have a market that are following them and ready to go on this journey with them, man. I'm one of them. I'm looking forward to those two guys getting in there. So my point is, what organization, if that has a level of success, I would imagine that George would stay there, which means I would be there as well.
I threw out something at the beginning of the show today. Just this, there's no credence to this whatsoever. But I reported, I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the show today, that Conor and Chandler is on life support. It's very much in limbo.
Yep.
There's a lot of pessimism. It's not looking good. And I went through the roster. Who could fill in? Who's available? Which champion? Who could fill in new fight or replacement to fight Chandler? Anyway, I threw out a thing, and yes, Chael P would be a great. I mean, he's been there before. Look at this guy, wingman right here, hype man. I love it. We've been there. 151. There's a guy named John Jones who said no to that fight. We don't have to rehash all that. I said Hunter Campbell should call up Fanmio, Solomon Engel, and say, here's a check, $2 million or whatever. We'll take this off your hands. Nate Jorge, MMA, main event 303. Your thoughts?
I really like that idea by you. I mean, it's not overly realistic, but I will remind you that Masvidal is on a carve-out. He's being loaned out by the UFC. He's under contract with them. So that is something that they could do. They won't do it, Ariel, and I mean, I'll just share some inside baseball with you. Is that was attempted to be done at UFC 300 when it looked like, hey, there's really a spot here, and it was Hunter that decided to not go in that direction. But I like what you're saying. Like in terms of the theory, Ariel, I've never been able to get around canceling the press conference. And I've even brought that up to people. I go, hey, if the fight is on, why cancel the press conference? And I understand that the press conference and the fight were not married. I understand that. And that was very evident of the fact that we had a $23+ million gate with tickets still for sale, and we had never even announced a press conference. Like the only reason the press conference got canceled is because we scheduled it in the first place. So I understand how they could be separate, but I am still forced to put myself in the shoes of the promotion. Why would you cancel a press conference? And whenever I ask somebody that, they go, well, Conor couldn't show up. I go, okay, great. I heard you. Why cancel the press conference? Well, we don't know. Conor hasn't said where he is. Like, yeah, okay, stop saying Conor's name. Why cancel the press conference? And the point that I'm attempting to make, you don't need Conor at all. I had a very big fight at one time, not to punch my own ticket, but it was opposite Wanderlei Silva, who did not get on the airplane. So we Zoomed him in. I held a press conference recently with Bellator 299, and Yoel Romero was scared of heights. So even though he was there, we Zoomed him in from the hotel. Just for example, I remember the day when Dana White, George St. Pierre, a beautiful belt were up there in an empty chair of Nick Diaz. Now, I realize I'm stating the obvious, but why I am stating it is there was, in my mind, I'm not satisfied with why cancel the press conference. We didn't have to have Conor, and we could have Zoomed him for one. We could have not had him at all. I went to the press conference with Conor opposite Khabib, and we waited so long that Khabib got up and left because the time was done, and then later Conor came. Well, if you're not there when the press conference is supposed to go on, it's the same as skipping the press conference. And then when you finally do show up, I guess it looks like we scheduled another one. My point to you is we didn't need Conor for that press conference. And I can't get around that, right? I mean, it's very clear that there is something that we have not been revealed. That's what's very clear. But to try to act as though you have all of the answers and everything's fine, and you heard it from Conor himself, I think that's nice to hear. Why cancel the press conference? Well, and I've never been given an answer that makes reasonable sense. Well, I've been told answers because that's what Ryan Garcia would have done, and canceling the press conference has created more press than holding the press. When you get these smart marks that don't understand that this place was sold out and tickets are moving on a secondary market, that it was not canceled and it's still not canceled to this day, but they don't understand that canceled is an extremely sensitive legal term. And postponed is also an extremely sensitive legal term. So when you choose which bucket you go in, it starts to narrow the possibilities that one could guess. Ariel, you have never had a guess. No. You've never had a guess with the money. You've never had a ticketing expert. You've never had an expert on ticketing procedures in Ireland. It is unbelievable the wisdom that I can come here with. This is why I hate when people argue with me. Like, I feel like go have your argument, and then you call Chael, and then Chael will just tell you who's right. It's not like I share an opinion, and then somebody else says, well, I have a different opinion. No, you don't have an opinion when I weigh in. That's it. The final say.
Yes, no, 100%. Can I add some color to that? There was also a very famous press conference that Conor didn't show up to in Las Vegas prior to UFC 197 when they were promoting 200, remember? And then they pulled him from the card. He was going through some stuff. So there is a precedent to your point. The difference, though, being this one being in Dublin, not on a fight week, so to speak, and they had distributed 10,000 tickets. I don't know if that place would have been very happy if just Michael Chandler showed up. And I don't think it would have been fair to Michael Chandler to let him get on a plane knowing that Conor wasn't there, right? He was going to have to fly from Nashville to Dublin 3 weeks before the fight, sit there knowing Conor wasn't showing up. At that point, you might as well just pull the plug on the whole thing. I will tell you this, though. When/if this fight gets pulled, right, canceled, whatever you want to call it, the reason for the press conference not happening will be the reason why this fight doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not two mutually exclusive events.
Yeah.
It's
no,
just
I understand. And I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree with anything you're saying or the flying Chandler there. I get it. Yes, there would have been people disappointed. I mean, I get the whole thing, but
anyway,
I'll stand by it that why cancel the press conference? I'll stand by that.
Is there anything, by the way, that softens the blow in your opinion?
Well, listen, Red Panty Night is real. I mean, there was only one Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And I would assume that with the loss of matches, there's going to be a dimming of that light, or even with some of the media that came out, or some of the things he got drugged through, there's going to be a dimming of that light, the delaying of the match, the refusal to enter the USADA pool, like missing 300. I could go on and on. I would have assumed wrong that there was going to be a dimming of the light. Ariel, he's beaten his own records. The top 10 gates in UFC history, and I used to be number one. It was opposite Standard Anderson, so I know these things. I felt it when Conor came in and beat it. And that's not a stat that people know off the top of their head. It's just one that I knew because I used to have it. He has all 10. So I figured he could come in and still do something meaningful. He might even make that list. He might even come in at number 7. He might even come in at number 9. Ariel, he came in at number 1. He beat his own leading record of $17.2 million at New York, which largely wasn't just because of him. It's because it was the UFC's debut in New York. Like, you can't recreate those circumstances. He's got $23 million waiting in the box office right now. It's not sold out. That's the other part to this. It's really good to say, we got $23 million, so that gives you the assumption it's sold out. It's not. He could end up with a $28 million gate. He's beating himself. It's remarkable. Yeah. So when you ask me what the blow is, or if there's something replaceable, no, there is only one Conor McGregor. And if you're to replace it and keep the card as intact as you could, which simply means you keep Chandler in the main event, the only one that you could do close would be Max Holloway, 155, and the BMF belt. But because that's the only one that you could do, they might just pull Chandler completely. Yeah. It might be a situation where you got to bring in Max and Topuria right now. It might be a situation like that where you scramble to some degree. I will just remind you that as much as we're all sure that Izzy and Duplessis are going to fight, they have not announced that fight. So, I mean, there are certain things that you could do to ease the blow. But make no mistake, there's only one Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
People like to act like there's not, but there is. And O'Malley's coming for him. There's guys coming for him. But they're not there yet.
I have a question for Athero. Do you watch YouTube? Do your parents let you watch YouTube?
Yeah.
You know, some parents don't like, my kids watch YouTube, so, you know, I get it. I have a son who's 10, 12, but, you know, some parents like to be sticklers. Do you ever sit down with your device, your computer, whatever, and type in Chael Sonnen and look and marvel at the legend, the hero, the brilliant mind and the gift of the gab that your father possessed when he was in his prime as a UFC superstar? Do you ever do that? Do you ever say let me look at my dad? Let me see what this was all about?
Yes, I do search up his fights. Sometimes I'll search up myself.
Okay.
I just like to watch myself, but I do like to search up his fights. Like, I'll ask him what his favorite fight is, and then what his least favorite, and he's like, Anderson Silva's my least favorite, and I'm like, all right, click, let's watch it.
Wow.
And he's like, no, I'm all right.
Okay.
I will not watch it. I beg him to take it off. Please turn that off. Don't watch that in front of me.
Why?
Yeah, it pains me, or it makes my hands sweat just thinking about it.
But I'm just curious, why would you want to watch your father's least favorite fight? Why not want to watch his favorite fight?
Kids.
I don't know.
Hey,
I've seen his favorite.
Let me ask you something. Can I beat Anderson Silva Saturday?
Yeah.
All right.
That's all you need.
By cheating.
Can I beat him without cheating?
Probably.
Probably?
Yeah.
Is he really faster than me? I don't think that's true.
At this point,
See that arrow?
Yeah.
Did you see that arrow? See that arrow?
He's a real chip off the old block.
No. You remember the old one that Muhammad Ali would do? Muhammad Ali would talk about he was fast, And he'd go, all right, you ready? I'm going to throw 3 punches. And then he'd go, did you see it? And that was funny. That was good work, right? I mean, that's amateur level stuff. But at the time, that was really high level stuff. I think it's funny. I think that's better. Catching a fly. Mr. Miyagi style without the chopsticks.
Do you think, Thera, do you want to be a fighter too, like your dad one day?
Of course.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is that the dream?
You want to know why?
Tell me.
Yes. You want to know why? The money.
What in the...
Hey, guess what his mother had to say about that?
Oh, my dear. There she is. Oh, my gosh. I can't even imagine.
Oh, my
The
God. It's
classiest
like
Miss
the
Brittany.
gates of heaven opened up and a couple of Venuses fell out.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Somebody call an ambulance. This girl is overdosed on gorgeous pills.
Oh, my God. This is amazing. You guys are the best. So the whole family is there, Chael. Everyone.
Meow. Yeah. Yes. My mother-in-law is on the other side here. My father-in-law is actually getting on an airplane and coming out here. Miss Claudia is so upset that she's not here because she had a different engagement. But yeah, man, I got them all here.
I mean, if I'm being honest, the only one who's really missing is me. I mean, I'm still waiting for the invitation. I have the bags packed. I was not invited, and you know,
and I would love it if you were. You know, can I tell you when this came together? I'm so sorry to cut you off, but
No, please.
when this came together, Anderson did not believe it, and it was to the point that Anderson and I, who have not spoke, I had to get on a Zoom call, and Anderson was there. There was a bunch of other people, but I had to get on and show my face, and I was in a ESPN meeting. So I couldn't say anything. Like I had to sneak the call to just show my face and then I had to get off. The point is, he did not believe that I would agree to face him. He did not agree that I would box, and he did not agree that I would come to Brazil. So to do all 3 of them at the same time, he thought he was being put on. He thought he was like getting catfished. You want to know I tell you that story, because you want to know why I do those things? All 3 of those things. You want to know? Can I tell you? Because you never met anybody like me. God never made anybody like me. You will have guys talk about it. You guys can run there. You'll have the George Masvidal. You never have anybody like me. First thing George Masvidal did, by the way, just so you understand, first thing George Masvidal did, he said he wouldn't throw his right hand. He'd even put it in a contract. What a stupid thing to say. I accept. Hope he puts in the contract. Said that he would pay me my biggest bag, which I didn't even ask for. I mean, what an idiot, right? That's his opening negotiation. Okay, great. I'll take both of those things. Now, behind the scenes, all he has done since we've agreed to fight, and I do mean all he has done, is argue about the weight class. And he's got reason to do that. Like, in fairness, I am a bigger guy, but when you call out a bigger guy, you don't complain that he's a bigger guy. I mean, I'm agreeing to come to weight classes I haven't seen in years, right? 202 is the last place we left off, but they're trying to get it to 199. I mean, I'm just sharing with you, I haven't weighed or fought at those in a meaningful period of time. So if you're going to call me out, you can't then call out a different version of me. It's one of those things. It's very weird. And I do want to tell that side because I do think that George has a level of courage. I do think if George calls somebody out that he'll do it. But he did call me out, and I do accept. Make no mistake.
By the way, if he loses, is the fight off? Oh, hello.
Priya wants to show something. Is this for Errol? You want me to see the slime? Oh, thank you, baby.
I love slime.
It was just slime. You just made slime for him? Oh, Errol loves slime. Oh, it actually feels very... Errol, they're now selling stuff that feels like slime, even if it's not, but they sell it, and they're calling it satisfying. So you squeeze it, and it feels satisfying. And you know what? I get it. Like, they have these new products that you just squeeze them all day, and it is very satisfying.
The problem is, especially with the youngsters, my kids get this stuff too, and then it ends up on the couch. It ends up in their hair, on the rug, right?
Ariel, George Masvidal, the genesis of our challenges, he came on your show. He came on your show, and he challenged me. And he stated that the reason he did that is because you're his boy, and you and I had a shouting match with each other. So when I come on your show, and I'm telling you, I accept the challenge, it's a topic that you could not get off of any quicker. It's making you very uncomfortable, and you don't want to do it. And you don't want to do it because he attempted to be the knight in shining armor that came in to save the little weasel rat, which was you. Now, I don't think you are those things, but this is what he said.
Wow.
So it put you in a very tough spot. I understand that. But your boy, your white knight, called out a big guy. And he now doesn't want to fight that big guy.
But here's the truth of the matter.
That's me. So you ask me if it matters if he beats Nate. Of course it doesn't matter. Because there's zero chance that he beats Nate. He will not win a round against Nate. The same as he should not have won a single round against Nate when they fought in MMA. So no, I'm not factoring at all. I am factoring that I warm up with Anderson Silva. I'm factoring that George gets softened up by Nate Diaz, and I'm still going to accept him. And do you want to know why? Because he issued me a challenge, and you never met him like me. Never.
Is it not weird, though, that you and I go way further back, had a show together, all that stuff? I mean, we've been in the trenches, and he came to my defense, and yet
yes, it was.
You've never come to my defense.
I thought it was very interesting that he came to your defense against me when I'm clearly a closer friend. I mean, I thought that was interesting. Like, I did appreciate it, actually. When people defend you, that makes me happy. It was a defense against me, so it kind of put me in this weird parallel. Either way, I have agreed to be the backup. I agree whether he wins or he doesn't win. Either way. I've even agreed to these ridiculous weight restrictions. I'm just bringing it to your attention that in all fairness, because he's got the right to worry about weight. He's got the right to do what he's doing. But when you call out a bigger guy, you got to accept that you're fighting a bigger guy.
This is a family affair here, so I'll let you go in a moment.
Do you want to know why I take steroids, Errol? Do you want to know?
No, you go ahead.
Do you want to know why I take them?
Go ahead.
Why I put them into my body? Do you want to know?
Please.
Because my body doesn't make it on its own.
Yeah. Could I ask? But
people ask me, why did you rob banks? Why did I rob banks? For the money. It was like it's stupid questions.
How did Miss Brittany?
I couldn't believe it.
Your muscles are fake.
No, they're real. They're really mine, and they're really powerful, and they're really bigger than George Masvidal's.
Can't even fit on the screen.
George Masvidal, I could beat him.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
I could beat him with football.
But by the way, how did Miss Brittany feel when you and I were fighting that day? Did she tell you, you know what, Chael, you went too far? Honey, you went too far. How did she feel? I mean, she had to have taken my side, right?
Well, she and my mother, who did not conspire, this like separate conversations. Neither one of them liked that.
Yeah.
They did not. They were not at all. Not at all.
So, okay.
But you had made a comment. You said, so if Weasel and Rat have a historical tying in, even stereotypically, to Jewish, I didn't know that. No. And if that's so, then that was pretty bad. But you did say something on the show after I was gone. You said, well, I don't think he's anti-Semitic. It's like, you don't think I'm your friend? I can't be. The fact that I'm friends with you would exclude me from the possibility. That's a terrible thing. I mean, it really is a very terrible thing.
We don't have
Not that you said it would be a very terrible thing to be anti-Semitic. Well, but I'm just sharing for you because you asked me about Brittany and you asked me about my mom. And yeah, they did not like that you and I were yelling at each other.
Well, one thing I do like is that you are back this Saturday. I don't like the fact that I can't watch it. I'm a little bit sad about this, that it's not airing here in the United States. I don't know if you could get me a link or something. I would love to watch. And I wish you the best on Saturday. Can you cut us a promo, old school Chael promo?
I was out of college, Eric.
Yeah.
I was out of college. I was 24 years old when I learned what it meant to be anti-Semitic. And do you want to know how I learned? I was on my mother's couch watching an episode of Seinfeld, and Uncle Leo kept saying it. She's an anti-Semite. And I finally turned to my mom and go, what is that? She said, somebody doesn't like Jewish people. I go, that's a thing? There's people out there? My mom shrugs her shoulders like, I guess.
Yeah. How could you not like us? We're the best.
There wasn't really a point to that story. I just knew when I started talking about anti-Semitism that it made you uncomfortable. So I just wanted to extend that. Because as uncomfortable as that makes you, it makes you more comfortable than your white knight George Masvidal.
Oh, how does it go down on Saturday?
I love George Masvidal.
Give us a promo.
I love George Masvidal. Well, I don't really intend to cheat. I mean, in like the figurative sense, I don't know the rules of boxing. In my mind, you can do anything you want. You can't spin. You can do anything you want that is a punch with a left hand or a right hand above the waist. You can hit him by the head, chest, neck, and breast, I think, is the rules. There is something about when you clinch a guy and grab a guy. I don't know those rules. I do plan to clinch him, grab him, and punch him as the referees yell break. But I hear him do that in boxing all the time. They yell break, and the other guy hits him. So I'm going to be that guy that does the hitting, and I'm going to push the pace, and I'm going to jump right on him. I will tell you a mistake I made in part 1 and 2. I've gone 7 rounds with Anderson Silva, and the problem that I had is thinking that I could make him quit. One thing about him, I thought he was just really good. He's dynamic, he moves really well. He's got these great setups. He's really tough, and that's the part I didn't know. I thought you could just make him quit. And that's the one that John Jones has this same thing, and people are slow to realize it. Daniel and I have talked about this a lot, though. He's freaking tough. He's not just good. My point being, I used a lot of energy trying to get him to wilt, and I'm not going to make that same mistake. I'm going to touch him more than he touches me. Or I'm not. I mean, it's one of those two, right? I mean, it's not like there's three options here. I beat him or I don't.
Right. God bless you, Chael. God bless you and your family. This was a beautiful, beautiful segment, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Ariel,
yes.
You never. Should anything happen to me? Should anything happen to me, and I don't believe it. Should anything happen to me, you tell him that, Ariel. You tell him.
Oh, by the way.
God never made a man like him.
By the way, what goes fast in an instant?
Close enough.
God, how is that possible?
That's hilarious.
How is that possible?
That's too much.
That is just...
The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
That is the definition of that saying, what we just witnessed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God. Do you think that they, how is that kid so quick? Do you think they talked about
the apple doesn't fall? I mean, yeah, you could take that angle, but even then, to have somebody on your side that remembers, because, I mean, that was a pretty long interview, right?
By the way, that's also a 9-year-old.
Exactly.
What an impressive young man. The whole family's impressive. I enjoy them very much.
I love how he's like, Miss Claudia couldn't be here, and you're like, the only person missing is me. Good job, Ariel.
Well, no. In addition.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I do feel like I was owed an invite, at least. It's like when we went for dinner on Monday, and we were talking about who should pay. Like when you were like, "Oh, I'll chip in," but like that, like I'm at least owed a token.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did I wait for you to go to the bathroom?
Wait, what was that?
Oh, you can't hear now.
Who, me? That was just so much fun. I mean, even just having, for the newer fans out there, those two despised each other. And, to see their relationship now, to see where they're at, this is a cool thing. We were talking about the promotional materials for this fight. You probably showed it during the interview, but can we just look at the poster real quick? We showed the promo that came out in Times Square. The poster's nice. And you know how I know it's nice? GC's an expert when it comes to these things, a Photoshop expert, and he's given it the A+ stamp of approval, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really the Photoshop itself. It's just, I mean,
but you just have an eye for this sort of thing.
I mean, it looks great. The only thing it's missing is, where can I watch it?
I feel like this is...
We know anyone going? We can pay someone to...
stream it? I know someone working it. My friend Paulo Sack is working it. She's a legend in Brazil, but I don't think she's going to stream it for us. Yeah. I wonder why.
Black tie event. How many did they say? 800 people?
Something like that, yeah. Have you heard us spatting the beer?
No. I hadn't before this. Deep diving, I found out, that it's a beer. I don't know if you can get it here in the States, but might have to get some for Saturday,
You know, it's interesting. I just did a quick Google search. It's a German beer, right?
Yeah, I'm now finding that out as well. Looks tasty, man.
It does look tasty, but I wonder. I mean, maybe it's a big thing. You would think it's a Brazilian beer.
Brazilian beer, yeah.
I never heard of it.
Bad and Fight Night. Shout out.
Yeah, man, that was incredible. Oh, I had to do that. That was killing me.
God, that was a loud one.
Chael, gotta love him. Still to come, we'll do another face-to-face on today's program. This with Chris Billam-Smith and Richard Riakporhe, who are headlining an event in London. I think it's South London, possibly East London. Frank, you know about.
I know all about the cardinal directions and London, but not together.
It's actually happening at a football stadium, Selhurst Park. By the way, what about the poster for this one? We got to give these guys. This is actually front runner for me for poster of the year, the vertical one for this fight on Saturday, which you can watch on Sky Sports in the UK. And
so we got horizontal, and they're looking at each other.
Horizontal's fine. It's good. It's nice.
Really like this one, yeah.
This is like this is like a program cover of a 1976 fight. You know what I mean? There's something about the font, the lettering, and the two faces, and the football
cracks up in the
stadium.
corner makes it like look like a magazine cover.
This is nice. Yes. Oh, you think they did it that way? Oh, so they are going with that. Okay. It looks like a magazine cover, right?
Yeah.
Even like the date on the top left.
Yeah, and the game on and everything looks like it's the title. I mean,
Yes.
it's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so great. I love this stuff. If 304 is the creme de la creme as far as posters are concerned, I would say this
Which
is
it
like
is.
a notch below, would you say? What would you say?
Yeah, a large notch below.
Yeah. Now I'm looking forward to that. And as far as other MMA and combat sports are concerned this weekend, what do we have? We have the UFC event at the Apex, which the start time continues to change, right?
Yeah, I don't think it continues, though. I think it is set 7 p.m. start, 10 p.m. main card.
Golly.
Apex. Gotta love it.
PFL on Thursday, which will not include us in attendance.
Yeah. Shout out.
Frank walking out Dakota. UFC on Saturday night. Tank Davis returning, and there's all kinds of drama there.
Frank Tank.
Did you see that?
Benavidez fighting as well.
Benavidez, but Tank said he didn't like the promotion and didn't show up to the grand arrivals yesterday. So a little drama there. And, of course, the Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva boxing match. No real updates other than a bunch of cool people texting me regarding the fight. Let's just check here. No. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Let's see. Anything out there? I don't know. Have I missed an announcement, an IG Live, anything like that?
Nope, not that I've seen.
No scuttlebutt?
No scuttlebutt, man.
Okay. Yeah, there's
another Michael Chandler post.
What do you say?
Let the flies talk. They're only talking to justify their own self-perceived limits.
Whoa. Is that a shot, Mike?
Don't let them put their limits on you.
What?
Nobody ever got to where they wanted to go by listening to the limiting beliefs of others.
Yo.
Run your own race. Move forward with complete disregard to previous failures, future opposition, and the current mediocre minds that will try to deter you. Walk on.
Okay.
Top. Notice no hashtag UFC 303.
This is a new thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrying because he had a post that said the hashtag is back, hashtag UFC 303. Now it's gone again.
Yeah. All right. So stay tuned. The drama and the mystery continues. We turn our attention now to our next guest. Had a massive win on Saturday in Louisville, Kentucky against Ricky Turcios. A great rear naked choke win in the second round. He is the youngster, just 19 years young, still in his teens. It's unbelievable. Certainly doesn't look like one. I didn't look that way at 19. He is Raul Rosas Jr., and he's kind enough to join us. Hello, Raul. How are you?
What's up, bro? Hey, before we start this interview, let's get a chihuihuis.
Oh, let's do it. Can I hear it from you?
And then you gotta say it.
Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, it went so high up that the audio went out. Let's try one more time. It's going so high. It's so high pitched that I think the Zoom cancels out your audio. Is that what's happening, Frank?
Absolutely.
It's canceling. Okay, let's do maybe a subdued one.
All right, let me try.
Okay, I got it a little bit there. Here's my attempt. Chee-wee-wees. By the way, is it chee-wee-wees or is it chee-wee-wee?
No, chihuihuis.
Okay, yeah, we actually have it, Frank. We have it just so we can remember. Can you play it for Raul? We have it on standby. So that was my best. What does that mean? Okay, this is good that we're starting with this. What does that mean?
It's like a word of excitement, like when you win or something, instead of like saying like woo, like you're like chihuihuis. Like let's say you're with your homies and then like a girl tells you like, oh, come over, like you get excited and you're like you know, and you don't hope, you know.
I love it. I love it. And is this something just you and your friends say? Did you guys, correct me for not knowing, but did you guys come up with this, or is this something that other people have said? Are you taking it from someone?
No, it's something my homie came up with it, Carlos Figueroa, you know, he was like we were just chilling and like he got excited, so he just like randomly said that word. And then like since he's like my brother, you know, we're hella close and we hang out a lot. So he said it on multiple occasions to where like I started saying it, and then we just both started saying it, you know.
I love it, man. This has to be your thing. Like every star has his own catchphrase. This is perfect for you, right?
Yeah, this one's perfect.
You could get it on T-shirts. You could get it on hats. Are you gonna do that sort of thing? Sell the merch?
Yeah, like right now, like we actually started a Chihuihui's Instagram, and we're gonna fucking go crazy with it, like with some shirts that say Chihuihui's, you know. That way, like for my next fight, like hella people like fucking wearing hats and shit with like Chihuihui's on it,
I love
and
it.
like fucking big behind energy on it too, you know.
I love it. I love it. That's perfect. Well, thank you for clearing that up, and congrats on the win. Did it? I'm sure it must have felt good considering the last time you were supposed to fight, you had to pull out at the last minute to go out there to look that good and to win, right?
Yeah, no, it felt hella good. I mean, it would have felt great in Mexico because there's all my people, you know. But things happen for a reason.
What happened there? Could you tell us?
Yeah, so my camp was sick on the week of, and I just had a cough the whole week, but it wasn't that deep, you know. And then Saturday I wake up and it was I got sick, so like I woke up sick, and since I had just got it on Saturday I was like, since I just got sick today, I could probably shake it off, you know. It's probably not that deep, so I tried to like go do a shakeout to sweat and maybe take some shit out. And it wouldn't go away. Drink a lot of water, ate food. Uh, and it was weird because I had like fever and shit, and then I was getting dizzy, like moving around. Everything would spin like if I was rocked, you know. And then I still went to the arena. I said maybe I'll warm up over there, see how I feel. And I was still feeling like shit. So I did a simulation fight with my brother like before the fight. I was like, I want to see how. I was like, let's do like a fight. I want to see how I'm kind of gonna feel performing out there. And he took me down, and when he took me down, everything started spinning like if I was rocked, and I was like, fuck, if I go out there and end up on the bottom somehow, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to get up or throw submissions or nothing. So I decided to call it off.
Damn.
And it took till right before I was walking out because I was telling them like 3 fights before, but they were trying to help me like get better, like give me Gatorade, doing this and that and that. So it took like that's why it took a long time for them to finally say like that I wasn't gonna walk out.
How difficult was that to be there, to be in the locker room? You're pretty much ready to go, and then you can't do it.
I was upset because I know in Mexico the people to buy a ticket in Mexico City to even go to some fights, it's a lot of work. Like I know my cousins and my family that some that were able to make it live. I know how hard they work just to buy a ticket all the way at the top. So I know there's a lot of people over there like that. So I wanted to be able to show out because not to be cocky, but I know a lot about a ticket to specifically watch me. And I really wanted to go out there and just put out performance for them.
By the way, how long were you sick for after that? Like, how long did it last?
It lasted till the next Sunday. So like
Damn.
even it was kind of rescheduled for the next Saturday, but even if I would have fought the next Saturday, I was still sick. I was sick for like a whole week till the next Sunday. That's when I started feeling a little better.
Okay, so obviously the right call was made, and so they rebook it for this past weekend. What was up with him not wanting to touch your glove? What was your take on that?
I don't know. I mean, in the moment, I didn't care. I was like, fuck it, you know. I just kept on fighting, like whatever. But I think he was just emotional, you know. I think I feel like the pressure that was led with me when you fight me, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of like people watching and stuff. I felt like that was making him act a little weird since the weigh-ins and stuff. I could just feel it when I faced on the face-offs. I could just feel his pressure, and he was tensed up and being a little different than he's always been different, but even a little bit more different than usual. I think because of the pressure and everything.
And did you take that as a slight? Like, were you offended or disrespected? Did you feel disrespected by this?
No, because I mean it's a fight, so I was just concentrated and locked in because I knew I was gonna get the finish, and I was just like, well, I'll just if anything, we're fighting, so if I can just fuck him up for that,
After the fight, is it true that he told you that he was battling staph and wasn't 100%?
Yeah, yeah. We had a little conversation. There's even a video if you haven't seen it. Somebody posted a video of how like the conversation we had, and he told me his knee was messed up and he had staph and this and that. Because we were talking about how I was like you disrespected me first, and then he said you disrespected too, and I asked him how. He said I pulled out. I said I couldn't control it. I was sick, and that's something I couldn't control. And then he said I was sick too, man, my knee and staph and that. But I mean, if that's true, I mean, he should have pulled out too.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, did that bother you? Like the fact that he was trying to say like, hey, I was sick too and I showed up. You didn't show up when you were sick.
Nah, it didn't bother me. I mean, I'm kind of used to it at this point. A lot of people that lose to me, they make some excuses, but I mean, maybe that's not an excuse though from him because I did see the video, but it wasn't the smart decision. When you step in there, I think there's no excuses. Like if I would have stepped in there on Mexico City, I wasn't gonna, and I would have lost. However, I would have lost. I wasn't gonna bring up that I was sick. I was just gonna fucking say fucking, he was the better man and keep moving forward.
Everyone seemed to have a great time in Louisville. Seemed to love the crowd and the experience there. Did you have a great experience as well?
Yeah, yeah, it was a great experience. I didn't expect the fans to have that many fans in Louisville because I mean, I didn't even know what was out there. I'd never been there. I never heard of Louisville. It was crazy. So but the fans were it was a different vibe, but they were crazy. They were funny. It was a cool experience. And then I could just hear the whole time how they were chanting like "fuck you, Ricky," like that shit from the fucking cage. I could hear it more clear than here in my corner. So that was crazy.
By the way, you seem bigger than the last time we saw you, like more muscular. Is that accurate? And what have you done to put on that muscle?
Yeah, I've gotten bigger, and I've noticed it because of my weight going up and up and up, and then the weight cuts being a little bit more rough and rough. Uh, I think I've just been working out, but I think it's mainly that my body's growing. My age, I'm getting older, I'm growing, so I think this is gonna keep happening. The question is how long? How long can I stay at 35? I wanna stay at 35 till I get the belt, but we'll see what happens.
Eventually, though, I feel like it's inevitable that you're going to have to move up. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, yeah, I feel the same. That it's inevitable that I will have to move up to 145. But my question is like, how long can I stay at 35 for?
Sure. And by the way, how is life for you and your family? Because when we first were introduced to you, you talked about wanting to buy your mom a van and trying to give your family a better life. Do you feel now with a few UFC fights under your belt that you guys are more comfortable?
Yeah, we're more comfortable. I've been able to provide for them more. Like things, little by little, have gotten better. Like before, when I was in Contender Series, we didn't even have beds. We didn't even have a couch. My parents were, it wasn't that rough because we had food on the table, and we were thankfully, and we were sleeping under a roof. So I mean, I know people have it way worse, but my parents were sleeping on air mattress. And now we have beds. Now we have a couch. Now I'm looking to buy a new house. I'm at 19 years old, so I'm just blessed.
Wow, that is incredible. And congratulations. Did you get the van?
Yeah, I did get the minivan, and I've got another car as well. So just things like that have helped me in life with me and my family, like in a better position.
Amazing. And when you say you're thinking about getting another house, is that for you to live in alone or for your whole family to move into?
No, for my whole family. Like, I mean, right now, I don't know, no house. Like, this house that I live in, I'm renting. So I'm finally going to buy a house that I own and for me and my family.
What's it like training with Eric Nixick at Extreme Couture?
it's amazing because he's just so knowledgeable in the game. Um, so like I told him a plan that we had against Ricky, and he helped me like set up like things, combinations, this and help me improve on my game plan and even add to my game plan for the fight. So just having him like in my corner is also amazing. He's so knowledgeable. He knows how to adjust, and it's great.
I feel like we're back on track for you to potentially challenge John Jones's record, the youngest champion record. That was when he was 23. You're still 19, so you've got quite the runway. This feels like a real thing, a real possibility. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's always been there, I mean, I did take that loss and it did set me back a little bit, but I knew I was going to be back and, it was nothing.
What's the prediction? What year do you get? Like, how old are you when you get the title shot?
It depends. Let me see if I get another fight this year. So I'm thinking if I win, if I don't get a top 15 next, I think winning the next fight will get me a top 15 and then fighting like 3 fights in the top 15. So probably like 2-3 years, I think it'll take me.
Damn, you would be 21, 22. You would smash that record. Is this a big goal of yours right now?
It is. I mean, that's always been the main goal, but we got what, 19, 20, 21, 22. I got 4 years to break this, so I think I can make it happen.
Okay. And is the plan for you to fight on the Sphere card?
Yeah, that's the plan. I think that's gonna be my next fight. I don't know who, but I think that's my next fight for sure.
Okay, so this is what they've said to you, that you're sort of slated for that.
Yeah, that's what they've told me, that they want me on the Sphere.
Okay, and who are they talking about, or who do you want?
They haven't mentioned any names right now. And I actually told my manager that I'm gonna look at the roster and give some ideas, like see if somebody gets my attention. But I want a big name. That's all I know. That I want a big name. Like this time, I kind of wanted to be two-sided instead of just me bringing the hype, because it's at the Sphere, So I want to make it a big fight. So I want to fight somebody that also has hype and is a big name, so that we both can fight and fucking whoever wins takes the whole hype.
But no one that comes to mind right now.
No one that comes to mind. If it's not somebody that has hype, I think I prefer a top 15. At least they have a number.
Yeah. By the way, what was it like being introduced by Joe Martinez? Because Bruce is the man, but he's got that Hispanic flair to him. Did you notice that, and did you like it?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, different, but it was cool. I actually liked it. I don't think I had ever been introduced by him. I don't know if no, we don't get introduced on Contender Series. Nah, yeah, it was the first time. I liked it.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, both of them are great, but he does give that little extra, je ne sais quoi. I did also want to ask you about Trevor Cooper. You mentioned him in your post fight interview as well. I'm sorry to hear about his passing, and could you tell us like what he meant to you and what it was like fighting, in his honor?
He meant a lot to me. He was like my brother, like my coach. He believed in me a lot as well. Like he always knew he's the one that helped me the most correct when I lost to Christian Rodriguez. He wasn't in my corner, but he saw the fight, and then he started training me, and he corrected every single mistake, every single detail. So that's how I was, even mistakes that I didn't realize, he realized, and that's how it made me a much better fighter. He could tap me like 10 times in like 2 minutes. Like everybody just knew he was a freak in jiu-jitsu. Like he was so smart. And then he passed away. But even when he was alive, when I got the fight against Ricky Turcios, and then everybody over here was saying like that it was gonna be a tough fight, a war, and this and that. And he had told me, he was like, "Oh, it's another easy fight, like the Terrence Mitchell fight." He was like, "It's another easy fight for you, like another good fight, so you can keep getting more experience." So that's how much he believed in me, and he knew. And sadly, he passed away.
I'm very sorry about that, but I'm sure he was very proud of your performance, and great to see that and hear that he had your back and was in support of you taking this fight and believed in you. That's a beautiful thing. And I was just curious, Raul, there's so much happening. There's so much that you're experiencing. There's so much success and so much attention. At 19, you really seem to have your head on your shoulders. You're not very active on Instagram, social media. It doesn't seem like you are falling into the traps. How do you allow yourself not to fall into the traps and not to get too big of a head?
I mean, like I knew this was gonna happen, and I've had experiences with I've seen people that I follow and experience, and I've had talks that this was gonna happen, and I know as long as I don't get over my head and keep doing what I've been doing to get where I am today, and keep doing like even harder work to get to where I want to be, I know that that's gonna be the right path. Because I see a lot of people get to my position and start, going crazy and thinking they've done it. They're satisfied with it. I think the main thing is that I'm not satisfied yet. I'm happy. I'm really happy where I am. I'm really grateful, but I'm not satisfied yet. So I think I just remind myself that there's still a lot of work to be done, and we're not even halfway yet.
Did you celebrate with your friends when you got home?
Yeah, I mean, we just went to eat and had some quality time. Cause I live in Vegas and I'm still fucking 19 years old.
That's right. Well, I mean, maybe nice meal. What did you eat? What did you guys have?
We had some steak, some barbecue ribs. So that's something I'm grateful to. Now I'm able to have like some nice meals, some nice steak. No more like rice and beans.
I love that. Well, you deserve it, my man. You've earned that, and I wish you nothing but the best, continued success. Excuse me. It's really cool to see your evolution at such a young age, and you handle yourself with such maturity. It's really, really impressive. So, congrats on the win, and hopefully you get to be on that Sphere card. We get to see you in September.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you soon. There he is, Raul Rosas Jr. What a performance from him on Saturday in Louisville. Again, just 19, and when fighters or people in the limelight are in their teens and they're doing big things like this, you tend to harp on their age, like Luke Littler, by the way, who was in our studio just a couple of weeks ago. But he has earned it. I mean, a 19-year-old doing what he's doing against some big boys in the UFC does seem inevitable that he will move to 145, maybe even 155 when it's all said and done. And so I am looking forward to seeing that journey. And can he beat John Jones's record? I feel like he can. I mean, just because he's so damn young. Most people don't get in as a 18-year-old, 17-year-old, and he's there doing his thing, and he's 19. So supremely impressive, big win for him. We shall continue to monitor his progress. Okay. Yeah. You know yourself, Frank. That's great stuff. I wish that the audio didn't peak over there for him. Damn Zoom. Mine was pretty good.
Just hitting the button for him.
Should have done it at the same time. 3,
have it
2,
like dubbed.
1. Yeah. In any event, looking forward to talking to our next two guests. Love doing these face-to-faces, and I'm sure they're tired of being around each other, talking to each other, talking about each other. They're just days away now from a very, very, very highly anticipated fight going down over where Crystal Palace plays, the Premier League team. Selhurst Park, 28,000 people they are expecting in attendance as the WBO cruiserweight title will be on the line. It airs here in the United States on Peacock, over in the UK on Sky Sports. A ton of hype, a ton of attention, a ton of drama, a lot of buzz going into this one because these two know each other very well. They fought about 5 years ago on that night. The midnight train, Richard Riakporhe won via somewhat controversial decision. Since then, his opponent on that night, Chris Billam-Smith, has not lost and in fact has become the WBO cruiserweight title. So that fight will be, replayed on Saturday, and this time there will be a title on the line. There's a ton of interest going into this one, and they're both kind enough on one of their last stops before fight night to join us here on the program. We are very appreciative of that. Chris, we say hello to you. Richard, thank you so much for the time as well. We really appreciate it, gentlemen.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ariel.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Chris, I'll start with you. At this point, can I just ask, because I know you are both very, you're both very classy, and you're both, not the loud, braggadocious, trash-talking type. Are you tired of all the buildup? Are you tired of, I know you guys were with each other at Talksport. I watched it yesterday in the studio. At this point, have you had enough of being around this man, talking about this man, thinking about this man?
No, I enjoy it. It's fight week. It's my favorite part of camp. Fight week. You got to enjoy all the media and everything that goes with it. So it's obviously getting closer now, but enjoying it nonetheless.
How about you, Richard? What's your sentiment? What's your feeling as we approach fight night? But you guys have had to do a lot of stuff together leading up to this.
Yeah, it goes with the package. It comes with a package. We have to do a lot of promo. We need to be in and around each other. We need to convince people why they should watch the fight. So I'm pretty much used to it. Plus, I've been around Chris Billam-Smith quite a fair bit. Spent a lot of time together in the ring some years back. So I'm well acquainted with him. So it's all cool. It's just part of the work.
I understand, Richard, that you're a big Crystal Palace supporter. Chris, I understand you're a big Bournemouth supporter. Commiserations to both of you, because we here support Nottingham Forest, the only English club to go back-to-back in Europe, as you well know, 79-80. We could talk about that at another time. So we're waiting for the City Ground to host an event. But why, Chris, as champion, are you going to his home turf? Why is this happening at Crystal Palace and not at Bournemouth Stadium?
I mean, we were looking to do it at Bournemouth, but they couldn't do it this time around. But for me, it's more of a challenge going this way, and it suits me more. I've ticked off that dream of the Vitality Stadium, and now we're on a Premier League stadium tour. So who knows? We might end up at County Ground one day.
I would love that. That would be great. I think it's great that you guys are doing this, and we don't see enough of this sort of thing in America. So I think it's brilliant. Richard, I know that there was some talk about who gets which locker room. Can you tell us about that, and where do things currently stand?
To be fair, Chris deserves to have the home locker room. I couldn't care less. If they said that I had to change in a car park, I would do that too, and warm up and get ready there. It's not really a big deal for me. It is what it is.
Okay, so you're going to be in the away locker room.
Yes.
Okay. Did you know about this, Chris?
My team told me that they, got me all champions rights, which are home change room, etc. I leave all that stuff to them. But yeah, it's always nice to have a nice change room. I was in there yesterday, and it's a lovely, lovely room.
Do you enjoy, as champion, being the guy to spoil the party? I know they're celebrating 100 years. There hasn't been a boxing event there in multiple decades. Is this kind of a fun, usually when you're champion, you're the hunted rather than the hunter. But in this case, it feels like you're coming in to enemy territory. Do you like being in that spot? Yeah,
for sure. I think it gives me great motivation for this fight of go into the Lions Den and putting on a great performance and unfortunately ruin a lot of people's night.
Richard, I've seen a lot of stuff that you guys have done, read and watched a lot of your interviews, and I think you may have upset his team when you insinuated that he's taken a lot of damage over the years, that it's taken its toll on him. Could you expand on that? Do you feel like he is not quite the same person and fighter that you fought back in 2019?
I think he's improved in a lot of aspects, but at the same time, he's taken a lot of damage, as we all have, to be honest, but some more than others. When you box, it's basically wear and tear on the body. That's why we can't stay in our prime forever. And we have a window where we have to try to look after ourselves, take as least amount of damage as possible so we can have a longer career. And with Chris Billam-Smith, one of his attributes is that he could take a punch. And I think it's probably affected his style a bit, where he doesn't mind, taking a few shots because he knows he can. But, the way the game is, the more you take, the more damage it does, and it just potentially can have some cracks in the glass, and it just takes one shot just to crack it, and then it's never the same again.
I see you kind of smiling there, Chris, as you're listening to this and looking away. What is your response to this assessment?
There's no deterioration, that's for sure. It's been a fantastic camp. Sparring's been great. There's definitely no deterioration from my point.
When's the last time you watched your first fight against Richard, Chris?
Maybe a month ago. I think we also watched it in Sky Sports, some highlights. We watched a few highlights then. A while ago.
What is it? Because you obviously didn't come out on top that night. What is a lesson or two that you learned from that fight that you will be looking to not replicate in this fight, that you are going to try to learn from so that it doesn't happen again on Saturday?
I think I just had a massive lack of experience in that fight, to be honest with you. It was, my first 50-50 fight against someone who of decent quality like Richard. Just the experience from that fight, and then every fight I've had since then has been massive experience for me, and a completely different animal now.
Who do you think has improved more since then, Richard? You or Chris?
It's a hard question to answer because, Chris, I've improved, but I haven't had the results to show other than just the wins of my fights. But he actually has a world title. So I think both of us have improved a lot. And I feel people will be able to see and assess on Saturday night who has improved more, depending on who got victorious and how.
I've seen, Chris, or I should say Richard, I've seen people talk about the fact that you could have had a big-time fight against Jai Opetaia, and you chose not to take that fight. You chose to go in a different direction. Can you clear that up for us? Because he seems to be the biggest fight at cruiserweight right now in boxing, and I heard you say it was a business decision. And so can you explain why that fight didn't happen?
There was a lot of politics surrounding that fight. I was ready to fight. I told my promoters that I wanted to fight no matter what's going on. And they basically, I don't want to really go too much into it because there's a lot of sensitive information there, but it didn't happen. I feel like it's just the politics in boxing that get involved and where fights don't happen. But I believe, it's a fight that I want in the future, and I believe it will happen in the future.
And just to expand on that for a moment, when you talk about the politics, do you mean like matchroom boxer politics?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's a bunch of things, and to be honest, I don't really know everything that goes on because I'm just a fighter. I just receive an opponent, and I train and prepare for it as best as I can. I'm an undefeated fighter. I have confidence. I have a lot of power. So I have all the confidence I need to go against anybody. It's not a thing where I look at a fight and think, oh my gosh, this guy's dangerous. Everybody's dangerous. So it was just pretty much out of my hands.
Chris, what is your take on this fight not happening?
On Richard versus Jai?
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what happened. I just saw Richard was mandatory and then he wasn't. I don't know what happens, but we're here now, and that's all that matters.
Is the winner of this fight getting Jai next? Is that like, Chris, if you retain, is that what you want?
Well, I think Jai Opetaia or Zurdo Ramirez next for me. I like Zurdo Ramirez fight because I really want to fight in America. It'd be a great thing to tick off the bucket list. The fans out in America are fantastic, and the whole show and everything that goes with it. And as a Brit, all boxers, British boxers, want to fight in America, whether that's Vegas or New York or LA, wherever it may be. But to do a fight night out there and a fight camp out there would be amazing. So one of those two fights next.
I'm not breaking any news here, but Richard's is a good-looking lad, as they say, and I know he dabbles in the modeling world as well, and has been linked to some very important people. And I've heard you say, Chris, you're driving to the gym, you see him on buses and whatnot, you have to look at his face. Do you think he's as dedicated to the game as you are, Or do you think that some of these other things takes his focus and attention and drive away from the sweet science?
No, I think he's dedicated. You know, he has his other things and whatever. You know, I don't know the ins and outs of that, but no, it's always good to see him when he's on the back of the bus with a sign saying "You got this." So I always thank him for the motivation. So I appreciate it.
Richard, I feel like when you do media, a lot of people dance around this question, so I will not do that. Are you dating Madonna?
I'm not dating. I'm not dating Madonna. She's a friend of mine, though.
Okay. Have you ever dated Madonna?
No, I haven't.
You're just friends, platonic,
Yes.
nothing else.
Platonic. Yeah.
I saw her sitting on your lap, and she posted that she couldn't find anywhere else to sit. So that made me think that there was maybe a little bit more there.
Madonna's Madonna. That's all I can say.
Legend. She could sit wherever the hell she wants, right?
Says.
I mean, that's just, I said it, not you. Is she attending the fight on Saturday?
Yeah, she wants to. So, but she just came off tour, and she was on tour for a year. So she was quite exhausted when I spoke to her last. But she said she wants to come. I think it's dependent on a few outside variables. So hopefully she can make it down. But yeah, everybody wants to see her too. So
yes,
I think it'll be.
I mean, she's got to make a call at some point. The fight's in like 3 days.
Of course, yeah.
Can you tell her to hurry up? We all want to know. Is she going to be sitting there or not?
Well,
okay.
That's it.
I appreciate it. I don't want to ask you to rehash your life story. People can read about it, Richard, but you have overcome a lot. You were stabbed when you were younger. You're outside. Guy wants your phone, stabs you in the chest. You survive. It's an incredible story. You have a scar to show it. Not a lot of people would survive. But the reason I'm asking you about it and bringing it up is because you went through that and overcame that and survived that. Does that make you a better boxer in the sense that there's nothing that any human being with two, hands can do that would make you nervous or afraid or anxious or instill fear in you because you overcame life and death? That's maybe what makes you so great as a boxer. There's nothing that anyone can do that can be worse than what you experienced, a few years back when you were stabbed.
I think that's a good question, Ariel. I think it's a whole bunch of variables that affect a fighter that makes a fighter a great fighter. And from my knowledge and from what I've seen, my perception, all of the best fighters, they came from adversity and struggle, and which made them fight in a certain type of way. If you check my fights, you could see it when I fight. There's fights where I didn't really have experience. I didn't really have that experience as a boxer, like as an amateur boxer and stuff like that. But I was able to fight for what I need. You know what I mean? Just find a way to win, and that's pretty much been my mentality. When I look at like fighters like Roberto Duran, all of these fighters, they all had something because they came from the gutter, and I came from that place, and it's definitely helped me fight differently. For sure.
Chris, for you, a lot of focus is on Richard's struggles and upbringing. Do you believe in the same? Do you believe that a great fighter needs to overcome great, challenges and struggles? And have you done that?
In a sense, but not in terms of necessarily upbringing. I think my upbringing was fantastic. I was very fortunate, very privileged as a child and teenager, and very, very lucky. So, but you have to go through things in the boxing ring, obviously, or whatever field you're in, you have to face adversity in that. And I've done plenty of that in the gym, in fights, and all that builds you. And you can't buy experience, and the experience I've had in boxing have made me the fighter I am, and give me great confidence.
I wanted to ask you, Chris, about another fighter on this card, Ben Whitaker. He's been somewhat of a hot topic, a polarizing figure in the sport, given his style. As a champion, as someone who's accomplished in the sport now, how do you feel about, for lack of a better word, his antics in the ring?
Look, that's his style, and he's getting well known for it. I know Ben outside the ring as well. I was on GB assessments with him as an amateur, and he's a great lad. He's a fantastic fighter, huge amounts of ability, and I know he likes to showboat, but that's him. Everyone used to love Prince Nassim for it, and a lot of showboat. Some people like it, some people hate it, but everyone's talking about him, and that'll make him a huge name, and has done already.
There's been, Richard, you're no stranger to the tabloids and all this stuff because of maybe some of your your friendships, modeling career stuff. Can I get your take on the Tyson Fury stuff that came out this week? A lot of people coming to his defense saying, like, look, the guy is allowed a night out. Others saying this is a sign of his demise. I don't envy athletes who have to live in the cell phone era and everything is documented, unlike 20, 30 years ago. When you see this, where do you fall?
When I see that, I think a lot of people forget that we're actually human beings at the same time. We might want to go out, we might want to party and have a drink. I'm not saying that I drink because I don't, but everybody is different. Everybody's a human being, and if he wants to do that, let him do that. I think he's got to the point of his career where he can enjoy himself. If that's the way he wants to enjoy himself, let him do that. It's a bit tough, because certain people can't be themselves, when you're in the public eye, which is why there's a lot of private clubs and stuff where, these athletes choose to go to. But I don't think Tyson Fury, I don't think this is the first for Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury's probably been doing this throughout his whole career, and it's just another day.
Chris, for the American fight fans, a lot of attention here stateside for the Tank Davis fight this weekend. There's a Tank Davis-Frank Martin fight. David Benavidez is on Saturday. I'm trying to get the Americans to watch you guys on Saturday afternoon because that's when it will air here on Peacock. And I think that the card is great. And I think what you guys have done leading up to this, I think the venue is great. I think your first fight was great. It's all great. And so I'm just wondering if you could give a pitch to the audience who may be watching stateside as to why they need to watch you guys on Saturday afternoon before they get ready for the Tank Davis fight.
Yeah, I mean, the Tank Davis fight is a fantastic fight. One I'll probably still be awake for. So I'll be watching that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's safe to say that American fans will definitely like my style of fighting. It's non-stop action, it's intensity, it's savagery, and that's that in itself is worth watching and warm you up for the evening fights.
Controversial decision. Some say there was a rugby tackle potentially involved. Richard, do you need to get a stoppage here to leave no doubt, put an exclamation point, get the belt, and move on?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do now. That's what I focus on. I feel like, boxing fans don't want to see 12 rounds. They want to see people get knocked out cold. And I'm happy to say I'm blessed with the power to do that. In my last, I think 5 fights, all of them have been knockouts. So, expect nothing different, man. That's my gift.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. One more box checked, on the way to fight night, and it's going to be quite the scene at Selhurst Park. I am looking forward to that scene very much and looking forward to watching you two do the dance again. So, Chris, thank you for the time. Good luck to you. Richard, thank you for the time. Good luck to you. And may the best man win.
Very much.
Cheers, Eric.
All right, guys, take care. There they are, Chris Billam-Smith and Richard Riakporhe. That is a fight that is taking place this Saturday on Peacock. What did I say? Box chicked?
Box chick is what I heard.
What is going on here? So much.
Who, me?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Aaron!
Just trying to make you smile.
No, listen, we're all human, Frank. We're all human.
I suspect that Joe may not be human.
Yeah. Who, Crypto Joe?
Crypto Joe. It's like a machine always calculating cryptocurrencies.
This is true.
1 second here. Just talk amongst yourself for a second.
What's going on, Connor? Con Dog?
Yeah, not much, man.
That's good. What'd you think of that face-off?
It was good, dude.
I liked how
nice
they communicated to each other.
Oh, yeah. A lot of respect there. A lot of
Oh, you're back, man. What's up?
Yeah, I'm back. This is what I do.
you dithering
Was
around?
that? Yeah, dithering, dilly-dallying.
Yeah, that was me. That was me.
Beat the next level on Candy Crush.
Oh yeah. No, Richard's a hard hitter, and Chris is great. They're doing big things, and our boy Ben Whitaker.
Yeah, Big Ben Whitaker. Looking forward to that one.
He's the man. So yeah, a lot of people didn't know if these boxer cards would air here, and because there's like 3 main promotions in the UK. There's Matchroom, Queensberry, and then Boxer. We had Ben Shalom on, you may recall. And so I like these weekends. Where there's not like a major event, but there's a sprinkling. Probably the biggest fight of the weekend would be Tank Davis, Frank Martin. Would you agree with that, GC?
100%.
Tank's not happy. I talked on Monday. They're doing these pay-per-views, but you need to have some fight nights. You need to I don't really know. Are they in with Amazon? Are they not in with Amazon? Is it a long-term investment? Is it I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't see a ton of do you see a ton of promotion for it?
Next to none.
Right?
I don't think I've even seen the poster for it.
Now that you mention, I think I did see it when they announced it. But like Tank Davis is top 5 most popular boxers.
Oh yeah, he's huge.
Would you say?
Yeah, that's why it's the biggest fight of the weekend.
Right.
Oh man, if this is the poster, this is.
Is it not on par with the CBS?
I mean, it's just them and their names. That's it.
That's it? Well, let me
That's
see.
it.
Can you show it to us?
Yeah, give me a sec.
Yeah, I just feel like there should be more buzz. I don't know. It is Tank Davis. I mean, the last time we did see him fight was against Ryan Garcia. I feel like I need to answer some more questions. Is there an update on 303? Is there anything new about UFC 303?
No.
No, nothing.
All right, yeah. Here's the poster. I mean, it's fine.
Honestly, not as bad as I expected. But can I tell you one thing I don't like about it?
Yeah, please.
It does. You know what? I don't like when like the faces look like they are from different photo shoots. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem like there's the same filter and lighting on all 4 faces. Right?
Almost guaranteed they're all from different photo shoots.
I don't mean
I feel
different.
like boxing doesn't really have the
standard,
like what the UFC does. Yeah, the UFC always takes the photos,
yeah,
same lighting and everything before their fights, and they're always up to date. I feel like boxing doesn't have that. But yeah, first time seeing the poster in what I think is probably the biggest fight of the weekend. Both these fights are great.
Oh, they're great. And then you got UFC, and then you got PFL on Thursday. So a little something for everyone. I have a question here from Andrew Feldman, our good friend, who was at the live event May 31st. At what point does the UFC owe the fans an explanation or an update? Plenty of us fans have spent thousands of dollars on tickets/travel and have zero update from the UFC. I don't believe McGregor or Chandler owe us an explanation. This isn't McGregor Promotions or Chandler Promotions. We have seen from the UFC's most recent behind-the-scenes Fight Inc. series with Dana Hunter and Jones that Dana has most likely said the exact same thing to McGregor as he did to Jones. Hey, keep this quiet until we get our shit figured out. I know that the UFC is historically the best of the best at fixing these types of situations, but for the UFC to keep everyone in complete dark for almost 10 plus days is pretty insane and almost disrespectful, but not completely surprising. What do you think of that?
Sorry, Frank just distracted me with some fake breaking news.
Jesus, Frank. We're talking about serious stuff here.
I see that.
He just asked me about Francis Ngannou, Hernan Ferreira. And
what?
I thought something just broke.
What? Wait. I'm dying to know why that is relevant right now. Was it just
me,
like
I just like to red herring this and confuse that. No, it was on DraftKings for PFL.
Yeah.
Just
to bet against Dakota.
Things. Maybe.
Oh, that's a nice angle. That's a
and
nice
then just
angle.
at the bottom, it's like Ngannou Ferreira. I'm like,
but how did you frame the question? You turned to me
and I was like, dude, hit the news. No, I asked if it was an actual thing.
You said, is this Hernan Ferreira Francis Ngannou fight legit?
To answer Ariel's question,
as I'm reading a question, actually a very, well put together question by our good friend. You didn't hear a word of it?
No, I didn't hear. I was deep diving into to see if we got a date booked for Francis Ngannou and Ferreira. I thought we were about to break some news here.
In any event, the question is, it's a statement / question from Andrew Feldman, and it is basically. Let me get to the. I'll skip the other stuff.
Shout out to Andrew Feldman. I mean,
here it is. In short, at what point does the UFC owe the fans an explanation or an update? It's been 10 plus days. He says this isn't McGregor Promotions. It's not Chandler Promotions, but it's UFC. This has been lingering. No one has said a thing. The only updates that we're getting. Let's just pretend for a second that I have not said anything. Right? The press conference gets canceled. Right? It doesn't happen. Last minute, plug pulled. People are just now, like, for the last 10 days, just speculating, or have they moved on, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so
I don't know.
That wasn't the
it's
case.
Still just pure speculation online as well. Like,
no, listen,
on Twitter
I know people don't believe me.
Crazy.
People think I'm trying my best to stay relevant. People think, like, it's madness. And I get it. I actually understand it to a degree. I will also say I've never been more certain that the younger fans or the people that frequent social media, I've never been more certain that they don't understand what journalism is. I've never been more certain of this because they think that the updates are just an attempt to, I don't know, stay relevant, make shit up, be in the, like, no. This is an ongoing developing story, and I've really tried to update you every step of the way. And you could believe me or not, at some point you will realize that every single thing that I've said is 1,000% right. They have done a great job of keeping this ironclad, but I do think the biggest fight of the year deserves this type of coverage, especially when it's on life support. And so it's not on me, it's not on Mike, it's not on Connor to speak about it. But the question that Andrew is asking is, at what point do they owe the fans an explanation, especially the ones who have, flights, tickets, hotels attached to this? Historically, I will say the UFC will not talk about it until there's a resolution. Whether the resolution is it's off, whether the resolution is there's a new fight, there's a replacement for Connor, there's a new fight at the top, or it's business as usual and a bullet has been dodged. They don't usually come out and say, this is happening, we're working on it, stand by. That's what they don't usually do. I will also concede these things don't usually last 10 days, It's usually like 2 days.
Right. I think that they have already owed the fans an explanation. We're 17 days away from the fight. The press conference was canceled 9-10 days ago. We have not heard anything. We still don't know if the fight is happening or not. I don't think we have gotten anything, though, because they don't have a resolution. What you just said, I don't think they've reached one yet.
Yeah.
So I think.
Oh, they don't. No, I know for a fact they don't have a resolution.
Right. I think that's why it's crickets on their end.
And do you agree with me that there will not be anything said until there is a resolution?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until everything is sorted, then they will come out and say.
Is it unfair to expect otherwise? Because let me put myself in
what
their
could they
shoes.
say? If there's no resolution, what could they say?
Right. Well,
fight might be off.
Or no,
We're trying to figure it out.
At some point, the fight
is off.
Right. So do you want to throw everything in a frenzy and say, hey, fight's off, we're working on a new fight? It just doesn't happen. Could it happen? Sure. But historically, that's just not the way they do business.
And I don't think they're going to start with this fight.
It's too big.
Because it would throw it into a frenzy.
It really is a nightmare scenario. I do not envy them.
Sure. They're scrambling.
Biggest gate ever and biggest star ever. And
they're after 3 years away.
And I'll tell you this. Last week when I said that there were feelers being sent out, that's what they were. Now it's like, it's much more than feelers.
Can you fight on June 20th?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Fight Inc. is going to be crazy next year.
Golly, imagine they're filming all this. That would be nuts. That would be nuts. Henry, hi, Ariel. 2 quick things. Firstly, you keep saying Alfonso Davies is a right back. He's a left back. LOL. Did I say that? Really?
It's widely known that you said he's
I said right back. It's widely known.
Yeah.
Why didn't anyone correct me? I'm still.
I don't know. We were just sort of having fun
Who, me?
with the bit.
I'm still trying to figure out. By the way, if I am saying right back, which I don't know if I am, it's 100%.
Yeah, there's several times that you said right.
It's 100% my kid's
was
fault.
like, dude, it's a left back.
They have told me
Davies.
any soccer knowledge that I know is from them. So if that's what I'm saying, it's their fault. Anyway, big draw against France on Sunday. I don't know if you saw that.
That was nice.
Also, I thought there was a rule in the Ringer where you only had fighters ranked in the pound for pound who had a fight in the last year or a fight book. So why is John Jones ranked, or have I got it messed up? So it's a great question. My personal rule, this is just my rule. If you had a fight booked but got hurt within the year, you're still ranked. So John Jones had a fight booked for November. Until we get to November, he's still eligible. Now, again, this is just, me making shit up. There is no rule, but I kind of feel like that's the. I kind of think that that's the most fair thing to do. JJ, something. Hi Ariel, I have a recommendation for an anime or the boys Frank and GC would like. It's one you can even watch with your kids. It's called Hajime no Ippo, and it's about boxing and a younger boxer named Ippo rising through the ranks. It's realistic, exciting, addictive, and it shows the tactics and strategies of boxing. I guarantee you'll be hooked after 2-3 episodes. Have you guys heard about this?
Yeah, actually, I've heard of it.
I was afraid that he was trying to mess with me given his name, but it's a real thing.
No, it's a real. Wait, what was his name again?
I don't want to say it.
Also,
yes, it's definitely a real thing. A very nice recommendation from.
I'm gonna check it out. Hope it's on Crunchyroll.
Shout out. Let's see if it is.
Going back to the previous question real quick.
Yes.
Imagine if you wrote a book called like Ariel Helwani's quintessential definition of pound for pound.
Oh, that's a great.
And you just detailed what you think pound for pound is. People would buy the book just to argue with every point, right?
Sure.
And then it would be a seller.
How long of a book would this be?
I mean, I'm talking
chapter
500 pages.
Okay, wow.
With errata and updates sent out as like quarterly magazines. Let me get someone on the phone. Hold on one second.
What's errata?
When you've made a mistake in the original printing and you want
Oh,
to,
my dear.
Wow.
Here we go again.
This is a great one from Matt Moe. Hope you guys don't mind weighing in on this because I can't. Sup, Ariel? Break the fourth wall. New York Rick's absence on Monday made me wonder what a Vox employee sickness/leave benefits are. For example, if Frankie or Joe in the back want to take a day off the show, are they entitled to a set amount of days off per year? Would love to find out. Thanks for all you do. Anyone want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, technically, yes. I don't know. Our employment here is a little bit different. Yeah, like if I needed a day off, I don't know. If I needed a day off, I would just take a day off. But like the chance of me, we only do the show 2 days a week, so I'm going to try my hardest to make sure that it's not a show day. And if it's not a show day, then you just kind of do what you have to do.
What is the Vox sick day policy, though? I think that would be enlightening.
Don't know.
From what I've heard, and anyone could correct me, is that there isn't like a finite amount of sick days.
Oh yes, we technically have unlimited PTO. I asked for 6 months off. They denied it.
Yeah.
Now,
doesn't sound like unlimited PTO to me.
I'm a contractor, so if I don't work, that's on me.
You get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hit us up every summer, and they're just like, summer Fridays, make sure to take yours. I'm just like, I'll get right on that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fridays.
Bobby, good day, Ariel A. Al. In my opinion, Islam Makhachev has quietly been developing into one of the biggest bright spots of the sport. His respectfulness and candor, along with his great sense of humor, always make his interviews a joy to watch, especially if DC is involved. It is unfortunate that we don't get to enjoy his presence on the MMA hour thanks to a certain someone. Having said that, is there any chance of a Kayla Harrison type exemption to get the pound for pound #1 fighter on the pound for pound #1 show? Peace and love. There was once a time where Islam was just a young buck coming up in the game, and people were like, "Can you please have him on?" Of course, we'll have him on. You know, we don't discriminate. But now, no, I don't see that happening anytime soon, unfortunately. Ryder, what's up, Ariel, GC, Frank, and Rick? For each of you guys, what is your dream replacement if McGregor and Chandler fight does fall through? Thank you, guys. Golly.
I don't have a dream replacement.
You don't. You're saying cancel.
There's nothing I'm dreaming of. I want McGregor Chandler. That's the dream fight to see on June 29th.
Honestly, there's not a ton of options unless there's
Holloway
Chandler would be pretty sweet.
Light heavyweight.
Nothing will compare.
Anything, honestly, anything below the light heavyweight title, Max stepping in, will just feel like just a monster disappointment.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, it's going to feel like a monster disappointment.
Like, even if the fight goes through?
No. If the fight goes through, then of course. But if it doesn't, it's going to hurt.
Oh, my God. This is going to be up there with one. There hasn't been a ton of depressing cancellations in MMA. This will be up there with one of the most depressing.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking earlier, look, say the fight doesn't happen. Hope it does, but say it doesn't. So they reschedule. Do we go through this again on 307, 308? Do you know what I mean? Where there's all this buildup where, if some weird cancellation happens or somebody goes dark with information for a second, I don't know. Maybe my anxiety is so high that I'm anticipating how anxious it's going to feel next time.
Wait, can you say that again? What are you talking about?
Okay, so I'm talking about 303.
Yeah.
There's, as we were talking earlier, the UFC's been kind of dark about what's going on.
Yeah.
There's still hope for some of us that all of this is just going to be revealed as a non-issue, fight's still on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm imagining a situation where they have to come out and say, hey, the fight's not going to happen with Conor. Here's our resolution, blah, blah, blah. So then the next question is, okay, then when does Conor fight? And then hypothetically, throw out a 307, a 308, I don't know, right? I'm anticipating how scrutinized the build-up to that fight would be because everyone's just expecting it to get pulled again.
Yeah.
So if something goes dark, if a press conference gets canceled, that's where my mind's at right now.
That's why I feel like they should try to announce it. But yes, I mean, by the way, I feel like there was scrutiny going into this one too because it's been so long.
Right, and I'm still hoping for them to just come out and say all that scrutiny was unfounded, fight's on, all of you chill out.
Oh, so what you're trying to say is you want them to come out and say that I was wrong.
I mean, if that's one read of it, yeah. I
yes. By the way, I do have a breaking news update. I see this from Sean O'Malley just now. Did you see this? I'll fight Jake Paul to save UFC 303.
Yeah, go ahead. Book it. Sounds good.
Would that suffice?
I mean, that would be such a circus. You're talking Jake Paul signs with the UFC.
Dana allows Jake Paul to sign.
Cuts to bantamweight. We get 135 Jake Paul in there, and they fight in MMA.
Crazy. Congrats to Jake, by the way. He launched a male, what would you call it?
Cologne or something.
No, like a deodorant.
W or something?
Yeah. At first I was like, is this in honor of the WNBA? But now I think it's because that was another thing my son said to me recently. Like, is this we're talking about going to a restaurant. Same son.
Gosh,
he said, is this a W restaurant?
I thought you were going to say you guys went to I don't know, the McDonald's drive-thru, and he was just like, W. This is a W.
Not only did he say, is it a W restaurant, then he followed it up with, is it a W Riz restaurant?
Nah, see that. Listen, dude, I'm not that up on the lingo, but I feel like that's taking it a step.
He's just throwing things.
W Riz restaurant. I feel like W is where we should stop it.
He's throwing everything at me here. Okay. Amazing. Hi, Ariel. On a previous episode, I remember hearing Mysterious Frank and Connor make comments to you about the way you store your coffee beans. After hearing their comments, I've been wanting to ask them what their coffee setup is like, but before I could ask, this information was revealed in the last episode of the MR. I must have manifested this, LOL. Anyways, I was wondering if you still store your coffee the same way or if you finally started using a vacuum canister. Oh, I got that thing the next week. I have a thing that goes.
This exactly what I was describing.
Yeah, I think you sent me it. You told me. Of course, you didn't buy it for me. You sent me the link.
the finder's fee. You remember I mentioned that? I was like,
Yeah.
hey, here's the link, but
yeah.
here's the Venmo. Wink, wink.
No, it's great. Also, he writes, P.S. I just started a coffee business and would love to send you some coffee beans. Please let me know what you think about them and where I can send them to you. Wow. Thank you. We'll address that offline. Slava, hey, Ariel. After the Cannonier controversy, you once again critique the show win model, but I'd love to know how you'd realistically fix it. Oh, I know. How about just like one lump sum? From the UFC's perspective, giving the full show and guaranteeing half the win would average out about the same percentage payout for fighters. No. I'm just saying, like, you cut a deal and you say, hey, if you're going to fight on this day, you're getting this amount. That's all. Like, you guys figure out the economics. You figure out the math. I just don't like the idea that a guy like Jared Cannonier at 40, who's fought for the belt, who always shows up, who always tries to win and deliver, needs to be worrying about, oh, I've now lost half of what I thought I was going to make or was hoping to make because I got screwed. It's just not like, you want to do the bonuses, the 50K, great. And I understand why they instituted it back in 05 or 06 when, you know, they were an up and coming company and they wanted people to just fight their hearts out to the death. You know, obviously not to the death, but, you know, they wanted to entice and incentivize people to actually go out there and put on a show. We don't need that anymore. No one needs to be incentivized with that. And so that's why I feel like more and more contracts don't have that. And it was unfortunate to hear that his did. If tomorrow the UFC would agree to this, would you support this? And how do you think the fighters would react? So instead of going 15 and 15, new fighters are guaranteed 22 and a half. Fair trade or nah? I mean, nah, because you're hoping to win. You all think you're going to win. I'm just saying, like, cut a deal where whatever it is, they know what they're getting. By the way, show win for like contender series are tough. I'm down with that. But like a veteran? No. He says, I'd love to hear Rick's perspective too. Unfortunately, he's not feeling well. Trin Wolf, bonjour Ariel. J'ai une question sur Paris et les Olympiques. Any update on the Olympics coverage schedule? Are there certain sports you'll be specifically covering? What are you most looking forward to? I'll be hosting a show for the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, called Paris Tonight, that will air every night. And I do believe will be available to people worldwide if you care to check it out digitally. And we will be recapping the day with a focus on Canada. We'll be recapping the day. Basically, like today, you know, in swimming, Penny Alexiak got a bronze medal. It's now her 7th medal, blah, 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 blah. Over in this, that. Here's a sit down with this person. Here's a package on this. We'll also be going out in the streets, doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, this is big time stuff. So big time, by the way, believe it or not, guys, tomorrow I have a fitting with Lululemon, the sponsor of said program, and they're going to fit me. We're going to do like a fitting. They're going to give me clothes to wear every day.
That's awesome.
How do we feel about this?
Lululemon is a Canadian clothing company, right?
Sure is. British Columbia.
And I don't know why I know these things about Lululemon, but like when they make something and they sell out of it, that's it. They move on to another design.
Oh, really?
So it's like whatever they fit for you will be one of a kind.
They're the official provider for Team Canada, yeah?
And my show. Well, the show I'll be hosting. So very excited about that.
I mean, some of the stuff for Team Canada is pretty sick.
Yeah? We're
Yeah.
on the website?
Yeah. Some sick jackets.
Yeah, it should be cool. I might try to link up with Bon Gamin, Surreal God.
Oh, yeah.
Benoit
Shut up. France also has some sick stuff for the Olympics.
Trin also writes, I'll be traveling to France in exactly 1 year from today, June 12, 2025. Would you be willing to chronicle some of your favorite food spots and any tips for someone visiting La Ville Lumière, the lit up city, for their first time and share them with us? Sure. Should I do like a blog? Should I do a fight feast out there? I feel like I'll just be eating in like the cafeteria or something.
You're like, it's good.
Yeah. Persian Apothecary. I always mess this up. Hey, Ariel, have you ever considered tattoos or piercings? Piercings, no. I do like a good tattoo. I've dreamed of having a sleeve. Would you believe it? The problem is old old Jewish custom states that you can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery if you have tattoos.
But what about across the street?
Yeah.
When you first told me this, I was like, well, there's got to be a market for this. To be like, yo, we got this land right outside. Get all the tattoos you want.
Sure.
Family's still there. People can come visit. And you look sick because you got all the tattoos.
No. I'm sure there are places, but the ones that we frequent don't do it, unfortunately. He also writes, you don't seem like someone who has either, but if you got any of these, where would you get a piercing and what tattoo would you get? Sleeve. Love a good sleeve. Sleeve with maybe some like colors, or maybe just the black, all black, like Aaron Chalmers. Piercings just kind of weird me out. You have any piercings, Frank?
I had my labret pierced when I was like 18.
Your what?
Labret. It's the skin right underneath your bottom lip, above your chin.
You did?
And yeah, because I also, like you were like, piercings are kind of lame and whatever. And then I decided just to get one because it's not as permanent as a tattoo. I could tell you the piercing process was cool. The care for the, let's be honest, it's a wound, was also cool, reminiscent of treating a tattoo. But then, like, the oral fixation and, like, playing with it, I was like, yeah, I can't do this. Yeah. So I ended up taking it out after about a month.
Oh, wow. GC doesn't have any tattoos, right?
No.
Piercings?
Not yet.
Damn.
Full sleeve on the right.
Considering it?
Full sleeve on the left, maybe.
Double sleeve.
Nah, just go one sleeve and then get the oppo on the leg.
Oh, nice.
Down
Catty
ankle
corner.
to thigh.
I was also considering the KD type chest tattoo thing. You remember when he had that?
Yeah, I've been considering the Action Bronson since I went bald.
Yeah. Some fire.
Sick. Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is a good one. Joel, hey, Ariel and the Parlay Pals. This sounds 10 times better than the Parlay Boys, in my opinion. Sorry, Julian. I'm a religious listener of your pod as well as the Ringer MMA show. I love how you've been diving into your morals / ethics / code of reporting news. As a follow-up to some recent discussions, what do you do when you've been told something, quote, off the record by someone, but then receive the same news by someone else on the record? Is this now fair game to report by your standards? What a fantastic question. One day, actually, one of my dreams, among many, owning a coffee shop, maybe a barber shop, would also be to just kind of do like one semester as a professor or two. And this is a great like moral dilemma. This is actually why when I call someone for information, I'll actually tell them what I know first so that they know that it's not coming from them, if that makes sense. Now, if someone tells me something that I don't know and it's quote unquote off the record, and someone else tells me something that it's on the record, but it's the same thing that was told to me off the record by someone else, I will then call that other person back and say, this has now been told to me. Are you comfortable with me reporting it? Obviously, I wouldn't attribute it to you because you told it to me off the record, but since you told it to me first, it's only fair. If they say I really don't feel comfortable for whatever reason, I have to respect that. If the first time it was told to me was off the record, you have to respect that. I wish people understood like how much goes into this and how much you should abide by these rules. And if you didn't, no one would tell you anything. If you don't have trust, you have zero. You have nothing. If you don't have the trust that someone could call you and you could keep it off the record and not, hint at it. Forget about like attributing it to them. Hint at it. You'd have nothing. Wouldn't be here. So that's a great one. That's a fantastic one. And it's and sometimes people don't know the difference between off the record and on background. When someone tells you something's on background, that just means they don't want their name attached, but you can do whatever you want with the information. When they say it's off the record, what they mean, at least to me, is this cannot be touched, either anonymous or not, sourced or not. My rule has always been, unless noted at any point of the conversation, it's always off the record, because I want to talk to someone and I don't want them to be like, oh shit, this part, that part, like I know I need it said specifically that it's on the record. In fact, one time a fighter called me up and went ballistic because he thought he was talking to a reporter off the record, and then they did a whole article on it, and they freaked out. and I couldn't do much about it, to be honest. But from that point forward, I was like, all right, it has to, really before that, to be honest. But this was early in my career. I was like, sometimes people just don't know the difference. So it's way better. There's no scoop that is more important than a relationship. So you can't risk it. Coleman, in the moment in question, what would it take to swap Saudi card for McGregor card? They're not doing that. Jay Billing, hi Ariel and the team. My question is, when you were in university, what was the best piece of advice you got about becoming a sports journalist? And the second part, what was the best work experience you get, which became invaluable looking back at the time? Golly, there's a lot there. I mean, to answer the second one, coming out of school and working at HBO Sports was an incredible opportunity because, I mean, to me, they were the gold standard as far as sports journalism was concerned. And I got to that was my first job in TV, and I got to really learn from incredible minds, such talented people about what it takes to put on a good product. So I feel very, very lucky that was my first introduction to the TV world. As far as advice is concerned, I mean, there's been a lot over the years, but I've really always tried to, be honest, stay true to myself. A big thing is not being in anyone's pocket and trying to, to be as impartial as possible. And yes, I know that's where I fucked up back in the day with Fox. And it's the biggest regret of my career so far. And hopefully there'll never be a bigger one than that. But yeah, I've really always tried to be honest and fair. And sometimes that means asking certain things, but always in a respectful manner. And I do believe that it's not always about this interview, it's about the next one too. And so you never want someone closing the Zoom or walking away from you being like, that guy's a dick. I'm never going to talk to him ever again. I just, I want them to come back over and over and over again. And so you don't want anyone ever to feel like they were being taken advantage of or put in an uncomfortable situation and all that stuff. So yeah, there's a few things there for sure. I saw one and now it's gone. Greetings, Ariel. With the snub of Caitlin Clark of the Olympic squad, do you think the committee dropped the ball? Yes, not taking advantage of their once-in-a-lifetime up to this point golden goose, the revenue earned, and attention she brings could have really helped the women's sport globally. Look, you have to pick the 12 best. I do think she deserves it on merit, on skill. I would never pretend to be a WNBA expert, but even if she didn't play all that much, there's a long history of younger, soon-to-be superstars, which she is, if not already, not getting a ton of playing time like they do in their league or on their team, and that being okay. And I just think her being with those veterans would be gigantic for Team USA, would be gigantic for her progression and evolution as a player, and would be gigantic for the women's basketball games in the Olympics next month. So yeah, I was surprised. I think there's a lot of weird stuff going on with Caitlin Clark, a lot of jealousy, a lot of like, oh, you're going to have to pay your dues and work your way up type of stuff. And it's interesting to see it all play out. But I think she's done enough to earn it. And I think that she should have been on the team. Okay, we'll do a couple more here. No soup for you. The amount of long-ass questions on here is ridiculous. Keep it short, you dopes. Yeah. He also says, what do you think of Chael telling Ben Folks that he made $35K for the first Anderson Silva fight? Surely he's trolling how much he sticks up for Dana and the UFC brass. Cheers, lads. Honestly, I don't actually think that he's lying. maybe a very good chance he got a bonus afterwards for the way in which he sold the fight. But like, as far as what his pay was, I don't think that that's a crazy thing, believe it or not. He wasn't who he is now when he was fighting back at UFC 117. He was, UFC 104, 13 shows prior, pay-per-views prior, he was on the untelevised prelims against Yushin Okami, who's the number one contender at 185. Untelevised. There's no way to watch it, which is kind of ironic considering there's no way to watch his fight against Anderson this weekend. Untelevised. That's how far we've come. RLGC, Frank and Rick, what are your thoughts on Jamal Hill and his comments on the Pereira KO? So much for not making excuses and taking his L. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. What do you think about this, GC? Like, I think it's crazy when I see these guys talking about this, and then you see people in the comments being like, bro, just take the L. Like, they're freaking fighters, man. Let him process it. Let him deal with it. This doesn't bother me. Like, there's no rules. Like, who the fuck are we to talk about how he should deal with a knockout loss or a loss of any kind of that magnitude? Everyone deals with losses differently. Everyone deals with setbacks differently. I think it's super weird for the fans or the community to tell him how he should behave. Is it probably better if you deal with it one way as opposed to another way? Sure. But like, my general opinion is, who the hell are we?
Yeah, I somewhat agree with you to the point where like it doesn't really bother me. Like he's just gonna do what he does. But I do feel that it's odd that it's 2 months after the fight now, and he's bringing up all these things of what Alex Pereira did and how he was able to achieve the knockout, and then trying to talk shit to him by talking about when he got knocked out by Izzy. I felt like that was a weird flex. Like, yeah, you knocked me out, but you remember when this guy knocked you out?
Yeah.
It's just like you're coming off of a knockout loss to him. I just don't understand like why he is harping on this so much. I just don't feel like he's doing himself any favors by continuing to go at it. It's like you lost the fight. Maybe you'll get another chance at redemption down the line, but for now, like, you did get knocked out by him.
Is it possible that they consider doing Jamal versus Alex at 303, given all this talk over the past week? Maybe he's putting it into overdrive to drum up new interest in it.
Man, I don't think so.
No, okay, fine.
He's already got the fight booked with Olberg.
Yeah, but they can move that around in a second.
They've already been talking to Yuri.
All right. AMW, this is a great one. AMW Planner. You'll remember this person from last week. Konnichiwa again, Ariel Sonnen, the MMA Hour. Thank you for reading my question last week and nailing the pronunciation. How ironic was it that you had Nobuyuki Sakakibara, and I think this is a woman, by the way, right? Because they said last week, I think, I'll just say they just to be safe. They're writing in Japanese is amazing on the show. After I suggested more Japanese fighter, I know. First things first, I have to respond to Mysterious Frank. Uniqlo is pronounced Uniqlo. You said it right.
Yep, sure did.
Next,
This
Tatsuya
has been on
Taira.
Frank's mind for ages. This is the biggest win this guy has gotten since
That
March.
was the happy birthday I'd ever got.
Well,
Yes, yeah. This is a huge win for Frank. I'm actually I'm real proud of him in this moment.
you could thank AMW Planner.
Let's go shopping at Uniqlo after this for it to celebrate.
Hell yeah. And I'd also love to know why your name is AMW Planner. What does that mean? Anyway, next, Tatsuya Taira is fighting this weekend. How great would it have been to have him on the show next week? Oh, next week. I believe he's on a 15-fight winning streak and is unbeaten. I would love to see him on the MMA Hour. That deserves a conversation, Ariel. With Ariel, right? Sure. If he wins, of course. I have no affiliation with Tatsuro. I just like seeing Japanese fighters in the UFC and support them. I do not want the language barrier to get in the way of connecting with fans in the USA, though. If only Fabiano Busquet, the GOAT in translation, spoke Japanese. Lastly, because you seem to enjoy it, here are your names in Japanese. Oh, I love it. They wrote my name, Mysterious Frank's name, New York Rick's name, and Connor GC's name. I hope this question makes it to the show, and seriously, let me know if I can help in any way. I feel like we need AMW Planner to translate for Tatsuya Taira. Are you available?
That's a great idea.
Ryan, hello, Ariel. Just a little realization coming out of Monday. It seems you've never needed to take a 10-1 or a 10-2 during the show. Have you ever experienced a near accident while in the middle of a segment? Given your coffee consumption, it seems the only answer could be yes. No, answer is no. Have we had to go? Yes, but never to the point where we were, really struggling or worried. Thank you for asking, though. Mary Jo Medtexes. Hi, everyone. I was curious with MMA and combat sports being something that can be so immersive and take up so much time. How do you give yourselves balance in life? You feel like family to me. And a side note, not only did you all get me through the pandemic, but also helped me through a breast cancer diagnosis and treatment. Looking forward to our bi-weekly get-togethers has been the bright spot of every week. And yes, I'm currently no evidence of disease. Always a fan of each and every one of you guys, Mary Jo. Well done, Mary Jo. That is incredible, and congratulations, and well done. And I'm delighted for you. Balance is an interesting thing. Kids bring balance for me. Activities, having to deal with other things in life. But yes, it can be tough. Early on in my career, I was so obsessive. I don't think if I was 30 and starting out my career 30 in 2012, that's when I started with Fox and all that, and I didn't have kids, I think I would have driven myself crazy. But when you have a young one, 2, 3, that gives you balance and perspective. So that was very helpful to me, especially in the early days. And so I don't always do a great job of this, if I'm being honest, but I'm trying. And I really think that it's very important because you can drive yourself nuts, especially with the internet and the phone and all that stuff. Anyways, well done. Slim Fit Hugo Boss, Ariel, the GOAT, Glaze Alert, thank you. Are you surprised the UFC hasn't put out a press release surrounding the McGregor-Chandler fight? No. Members of the MMA media are puzzled as to why there hasn't been a press release. I mean, they never do that. Why would they do that? We're working on a new fight. They don't do that. They just announce a new fight. Why would the UFC announce that Conor is hurt and the fight is in jeopardy? Seems like an admittance that something is off. Say nothing, run promos, cross your fingers. I think this has been a roller coaster. I think they thought it was on, then off, then on, then off. I don't think that they're doing this on purpose. I know the thought is to think the worst, but I don't think they're doing it on purpose. Jamal 2020, aloha Ariel, I have a bone to pick with you. Why didn't you stream your last event? NJ-PAC wouldn't let us. As a fan who lives way out in Hawaii, I can't make it out to New Jersey to attend your events, but I'm a loyal fan. Just look out for the little guys. Spend a lot of money listening to your free content. Well, that's the key word, free. It has always been free, and we give you a lot, and they wouldn't let us. But we did put it on pod thanks to Frank. So it's up on the Helwani Show podcast feed right now. And, sometimes it has to be for the, the people in attendance. That's it. Mike, hello, friends. Hope you're all having a good week. My question is, how do you feel about the UFC constantly taking subliminal shots at you and the MMA Hour? What? I know you've said countless times about taking the high road and wishing them nothing but the best, but with the video they put out post 300 and the media and the shots they sent your way in the new documentary, I didn't see any shots. Did you see shots, GC?
No. I also haven't watched it all.
Can you give some context on why the UFC continues to be petty to programs like yours when you've been nothing but honest about their ups and downs? Thank you again. Love you guys. I think you answered it right there. Nothing but honest about their ups and downs. But as long as we're honest and not embellishing, isn't that all that one can ask? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I say peace and love, peace and love. Okay, 2 more. Ariel, with all the talks from Iman, with all the talk of Conor's contract coming up, I wonder, why on earth would he resign? Resign. He would make way more money fighting in Saudi and super fights or even his own promotion. Being a part of the machine. Ask some fighters who left. It's a lot of stress, a lot of money, but a lot of stress. Surely he looks back at what boxers are making and thinks he can make similar. Sure. Plus, he has no hope of getting back to a title. I think he does. You can only pick one. Knicks, Bills, Forest. You've asked me this already, and it's tough. It's too tough.
I feel like it's the Knicks, yeah.
I mean, right now I'm in Knicks mode because it's like spring, summer. They just lost. But probably if I had to pick one, like the team that has... I was a fan of theirs, like 90. I became a fan of the Bills in 91. So Yeah, it's really tough. I would really love both of them. Well, by the way, why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't I get both? Oh, how about this? Hello, our squad. My question is for GC from Janos. How is it even possible to ignore the rivalry between Man U and City? As a European football fan who's not even into any of these investor pump Premier League teams, I still cannot understand this level of ignorance towards football culture from a guy who I adore and knows and loves sports so much, even though he is American. Thanks for all the great work. I watch every episode. What is he talking about?
Me just being a Manchester man. Just a supporter of the city and anything that comes along with that, which includes supporting both Manchester City and Manchester United.
Okay, yeah. I guess that's...
He says ignorance and not being aware of the rivalry. I'm completely aware of the rivalry.
Yeah.
When I was in Manchester, one day I would wear Manchester United gear, and I'd be walking down the street, and people would be like, "Let's go, Manchester's red," and I'll be like, "You betcha." And then the next day I'd be wearing a Manchester City hat, and people would be like, "Yeah, Manchester City, let's go,
Yeah.
Manchester's blue," and I would be like, "You're damn right it is." So I'm just supporting the city, man. A city near and dear to me.
I mean, listen.
Just a guy from the Chester, just trying to make it in these streets, man.
Listen, no one should be able to tell you who you can root for.
Listen, FA Cup Saturday a couple weeks ago was just a fantastic day all around. I was coming out a winner no matter what.
Here's a good one. Andy, Ariel, clearly Jason Herzog scored a massive 10-2 as the inaugural big shitter, just outpointing Frank, who apparently believed the word ears starts with an A. Honorable mention to Dana for committing to the bit that slap is more popular than any form of sport or entertainment in the history of any civilization in the known universe. Can't wait to see what the future holds for this prestigious honor. Love always, Andy. Are you okay with these selections?
Yeah, I thought those were great. Actually, he's picking up the slack for me. I forgot about that. Yeah, the honorary inaugural big shitters. Yeah, I'll have to get a graphic made up. I forgot to do that.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
this will be good.
Last one. So many good ones, golly. Joshua, Ariel, not including the live show a few weeks back, what is your proudest or favorite moment of the post-ESPN era of the MMA Hour? Same question for the rest of the crew. Cheers, lads. I don't know, man. I mean, we came back. We've had great moments. I'm just going off the top of my head. Action in studio, the Paulo Costa haircut, CM Punk in studio. Golly, what comes to mind is some biggies. I mean, the Dylan one, people like Connor coming in studio, Izzy before and after the Alex fight in studio, Max Holloway in studio. The DP chats have been great. Alex Pereira, first time in studio. Yuri in studio. I mean, there's been a lot. It's hard to pick one, right? You guys have anything?
I think the live show in Newark that wasn't streaming.
He said other than that, okay?
Oh, all right. I couldn't air.
What about you, GC?
Yeah, the ones you named were pretty good. Probably the McGregor one.
Yeah, that was a great
time. That was, I mean, just everything, how insane it was and how crazy it was. It wasn't your typical in-studio interview.
Yeah, and I was saying goodbye, and then I was like, I might see you later in the day.
I mean, dude, we were eating dinner here. I had my feet kicked up, and you were just like, he's 10 minutes out. And it was just like, all hell broke loose. It was like code red. I almost choked on whatever I was eating. Yeah, it was madness.
Yeah.
It was madness. And it was just like, what do you think that took? From arrival to leaving was like 30 minutes, 45 minutes? And it was just like a tornado hit the studio.
Tornado. And also,
I didn't know what happened. I was in this office for like 13 or 14 hours that day. And when I was leaving, I was just like, what a day. I don't even know what happened.
And there was like 50 people right here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 50 people in there, another 20 back here. The guy had like an entire caravan.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, with the great questions. Phone blowing up, but no updates. So we stand by what we said. I had one person on here saying that there's talk on the internet that I'm being fed bad info. All right, fine. Believe that if you want. Don't shoot the messenger. If you don't like the info, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's not very promising. But hey, it's no big deal. The 14 trophies are nothing. Okay. I bought them on eBay. Quick word from our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbooks. Guys, we're this close to crowning an NBA champion. And with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. And DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boost, and so much more. Don't miss out. As the NBA postseason winds down, it's super easy to get started with DraftKings. If you're a first-timer, try betting on something like a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that simple. I'm putting Mavericks 1.5 games won in this series. You taking the over or the under, GC?
Give me the over.
Really?
Series changes tonight. Yep.
Wow.
With the home team wins twice. Everyone thinks it's a sweep. Look at all these Boston fans back here shaking their heads.
Yeah.
Nah, Mavs win tonight. Win again on Friday. And then we got ourselves a series.
All right, I'm down. Excuse me. If you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get 150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code TheMAR. That's code TheMAR for new customers to get 150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit www.100gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Blue Hill Casino Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See TKNG.co/bball for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. So did we get Rick's pick? Or actually, I think he said that he is he's bowing out.
No.
Oh, I thought
Rick's pick.
Oh, I thought he said he wasn't going to do it this week.
Oh, I did not see that. I requested a pick, and he provided me with one. I also got Juliana Pena's pick, and not just a pick. I also got a get well soon, Rick.
Oh.
Very nice of her.
Mensch.
Salt of the earth.
Mensch, yeah.
As they do say. Juliana Pena going with an underdog pick here. Brady Highstand, plus 154. I don't know if that's a teammate. I don't know if that's she's just been running the tape. But going with Highstand, in a little striker versus grappler against Garrett Armfield. And then Rick is heading over to PFL tomorrow night. Liz Carmouche against Kana Watanabe.
Yeah.
Those are the two picks. We're already at plus 226. Frankie, we don't even need the randomizer. I'll just let you take the lead here.
I appreciate that. I wanted to pick Dakota.
Yeah, I know you were thinking about that.
I thought she wanted me to be there for the walkout. So
there's only one pick for you, I'm sure.
There's only one pick for me, and that's Tetsuro Taira.
Hey. I love it. I was ready with a pick myself, by the way, in case.
Oh, well, then jump in.
What
Jump
were you
in.
thinking?
No.
The water's warm.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking Ben Whitaker, currently listed as a minus, I see here, 25.
Yeah, I was hoping that you were going to give me a, instead of just one, I'll just do two together. Dakota Ditcheva, minus 3,500. Ben Whitaker, minus 2,500.
Sure.
Just make that my one pick. So
Richard Riakporhe, by the way, minus 245. It's the champ.
The favorite to get the dub in the rematch. If we added Dakota right now, we would go from plus 396 to plus 410.
Damn.
That is terrible. All right. I will go back to the UFC, though. Saturday night, Nate Maness over Jimmy Flick. I think he gets it done. I think he probably gets it done early. Jimmy Flick sort of kill or be killed. I don't think Maness gets killed in this one. Plus 495.
Oh, yeah.
For the pals this week. Gonna hinge heavily on Brady Highstand getting it done as an underdog, but feel good. UFC Apex 93, a little PFL action. What more can you ask for, huh?
PFL, I mean, it's a big boxing weekend, but yeah.
Yeah, Tank Davis. That would have been a solid.
I'm seeing here he did show up to the press conference that's going on right now. So that is good news if you were worried about that. What else you got as far as picks?
Yeah, just a couple picks this weekend for old Apex 93. We'll start underdog play. Carly Giudice. The line has shifted in this one, and I can see why. I have been burnt before by Gabriela Fernandez against our very own Jasmine Jazz Davicius. She got 30-26 in that one.
Yeah.
And then next time out, she did not win a single round. So in 2 UFC fights, she is 0 for 6 on winning a round, and now I believe she opened up around a -215. She has been thoroughly beaten in each of those fights. I'm not saying Carly is a world beater by any means, but in a fight that is not the highest level of women's MMA, and I'm getting a fairly big price on a girl with really good cardio that puts up a lot of volume, and I likely think is going to go to a decision. I am going to side with her every time. And then the other single that I have, the main event, Frankie's pick, Tatsuro Taira.
The one and only.
I love the grappling. I love the ceiling on this kid. Striking is improving as well, but I think the grappling is what's going to get it done. Alex Perez, 5 losses by submission. Tatsuro Taira is excellent with his subs. I likely think that that's how it gets done. Great performance last time by Alex Perez, but I think Tatsuro Taira, the trend keeps on rolling. And then I got just a nice chalk dumpster parlay. Sarah G. Wilson on 2.5, Nate Maness money line, and the Alice Skarov Tricoli fight, which is just an odd matchup. I think Alice Skarov rolls in that one. And then outside of MMA, but just had to put it on the record. We said it Monday. We said it last Wednesday. Starts this weekend, though. It's coming home, baby. We're riding with our boys. We're riding with the team. I'll be wearing my Manchester United, my Manchester City gear all month long. 3 Lions. Bring it home. Get their first Euro ever. Those are the
Football's
picks.
coming home.
Nice
It's
and sweet.
coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming home. It's coming home. Come on, everyone. It's coming. Football's coming home. It's coming home. Frank, you think football's coming home?
It is, in fact, coming home.
Woo! Is the fact that they're favorites, is that
It's a
nervous?
huge red flag.
Yeah, it makes me really nervous. We've said this whole time this is who we're going to ride with, but yeah.
I hope for their sake. Remember, they made it all the way to the PKs
Oh yeah, I remember.
in Wembley. Felt like that
Learning
was-
experience. Now they're going to take it and win it all.
They've got a young Jude in there. They've got Cole Palmer. What about those Cole Palmer pictures?
Yeah, they're all time.
They're unbelievable.
What are you sending me?
I'm saying just if I want to show this before we left for our good pal. So I just wanted to have that up on the screen if possible. You seem very
this is,
stressed.
No, not stressed. I'm
Oh.
just trying to do the math here. This is just taking me to a website to sign up for X Pro.
Oh, it didn't work out. Okay.
No, but I
okay.
can find it.
No. Oh, that's
Here I
weird.
go.
Do you see it? No, I thought it went to.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
my
for
bad.
this, yes. I'm assuming that's the announcement about the book.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, that's weird. I thought I was sending it over. Anyway, what a time. You'll have Euro and Copa America at the same
Oh,
time.
it's so good.
I saw someone post on Twitter. You had like a thing where it's like a 9 o'clock, a 12 o'clock, maybe a 3 o'clock, and then a 6. Like 9, 12, and 3 will be Euro. 6 and 9 p.m. will be Copa for a full week.
Yeah.
Game at 9 a.m.
It's unbelievable.
12 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m.
It's
Golly.
unbelievable. You got to pick for Copa America.
Canada, of course.
I'm going
Jesse Marsh.
Uruguay.
Oh, wow.
Little dark horse there.
Are they a favorite?
Behind, obviously, Brazil and Argentina.
Is it Brazil, Argentina, and...
Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay.
Wow.
USA somewhere in there. I'll be supporting.
Lost 5-1 to Colombia.
All right, I got your...
Okay, I did want to give a big shout out to our good friend Mark Ramundi, who was obviously a part of this team for many years, and then I was lucky enough to work with him at ESPN. He has announced today that he is coming out with his own book. He's talked about this before, but now it is available for pre-order. The book is called Say Hello to the Bad Guys, How Professional Wrestling's New World Order. New World Order. Changed America. You can pre-order it now. There's a link on his Twitter. His Twitter is at Mark Ramundi. He now is a beat writer for ESPN for the Atlanta Falcons. He has left us behind in the combat sports world, but in the meantime, he's writing books on one of the greatest factions of all time in pro wrestling history. He did a ton of research, a ton of interviews, a ton of work. He wrote a freaking book. Marundi's all grown up. I'm going to buy it. I can't wait to read it. Say hello to the bad guys. Good for you, Mark Ramundi. Well done. Go pre-order it now over on the Simon & Schuster website, and you can get that link on his Twitter page. I'm still not there with the X, by the way. I still can't do it.
Yeah, still haven't said X either.
Just for me, it'll always be Twitter. Just like City Field will always be Shea, it will always be Twitter to me.
Oh, see, I'm City Field for sure.
Yeah, because
I feel like eventually I'm gonna go X.
Yeah, I've noticed myself almost saying it, but then because I don't want to say it.
I noticed you're still kicking it on Threads.
You know, you could press a button over there, and then it just posts it on Threads.
Yeah, I got a notification that was just like Ariel Helwani's posting on Threads.
Yeah, but if you notice, you go back like 2 posts, and there's been nothing there for 8 months. This Thread's dead.
I don't know if it was ever alive, man.
Wow. Someone tell Zuck that Connor's.
Come on, Zuck. Let's grapple it out, man. Threads is dead.
I think Threads just came out a little early, if I'm being honest. But
early to.
I think they were trying to capitalize on the. You remember when there was that period like, hey guys, today's my last day on Twitter. You can catch me on here. You can catch me on there. You remember that?
That might have been the best era of social media I've ever had.
This is my last day.
I'm finally leaving this website. That's it. Twitter is officially over. Thanks for following me. I appreciate all the interactions. You can still find me on TikTok and Instagram. Make sure to follow. Hashtag follow for follow.
Friendster.
Hashtag see you over there. Yeah, loved that. That was great.
So that's it. We are done. We will say goodbye. Hopefully the next time we speak is on Monday, God willing, and hopefully the next time that we speak, we have some sort of resolution to UFC 303. That would be very nice.
I'm really hoping we speak on Monday, man.
Why? Why are we not supposed to?
Well, it was just
the way you made it
like,
sound.
I hope we get to see each other on
God
Monday.
willing, if there's any hope, we can maybe speak on Monday.
Well, listen, as my mother once told me, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans for the future. So, you know,
can we just have
my plan is to speak on Monday.
Can we have a Friday touch base show? Because I'm a little worried now.
I don't listen. I don't take.
I'm a little worried
granted.
now. I don't get your flight now. I'm severely worried.
I do not take anything for granted. Okay, you can't take anything for granted. The next time you'll be joining us will be from the Peach State.
The Peach State, the Big A.
Well, that'll be exciting. Do we have a studio set up there? What do we have?
Oh yeah.
Lights.
Been working on something.
Is it
he's
a light?
He's actually
There's a
there
light.
now.
Okay.
He left at like 1:05, and I just wanted to prove to you.
Yeah, you just had no idea.
That could all work.
It's gonna be great.
Yes, looking forward to that, and hopefully Rick back with us as well.
Yeah,
healthy.
A little trade off. Rick comes in here, I go remote.
And to be honest, hopefully the news is that all is well.
Please.
We're not rooting for. You know, this has gone in many different directions. Last Monday, I thought it was not looking good. Then Wednesday, I thought it was looking good, and then later in the weekend, I thought it was looking even better. And apparently, this morning, well, really yesterday morning, it was not looking good and is not looking good. So let's see how the world turns, and let's see where we are come this Monday. I'm sure there'll be plenty of updates between now and then. All right, we're out of time. Thank you very much, everyone who sent in questions. Stay tuned. Keep it locked, as they say in the business. Lots of fun fights this weekend. Oh, we didn't get into Joey Chestnut. Is he really banned? What's going on? How could this be?
Yeah, it seems like it. Tried to eat vegan dogs.
That's what he was pushing for?
Yeah.
Why, is he vegan now?
I don't know.
Or is he
just
looking
a sponsorship deal or something?
This
I don't
is
think
what
he was looking for anything.
This is what the issue was. If I'm being honest, I agree with that with Major League Eating. Everyone has to eat the same. You know, it would be
It's also the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Well, does Nathan's do vegan dogs?
No, I don't think so.
Problem. B.
Is it a problem? They're a hot dog company.
No. I'm saying It's a Nathan's hot dog eating competition.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You
yeah.
can't be eating non-Nathan's hot dogs.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of it.
Yeah. So
I think justice will be served,
in what respect?
and Joey will also be served hot dogs on the 4th of July.
You think he
You
shows
have to
up?
have him. You have to have them. They have to come to some sort of agreement.
I have felt the same way about Kobayashi, and he hasn't been there for like 19 years or something crazy.
Because he was replaced by Joey Chestnut. Not having Joey Chestnut on the hot dog eating contest is like not having McGregor on 303.
To a degree, yes. I would say it's even a bigger deal because he's been a mainstay every single year.
Yeah.
But I really think one of the great travesties in life is not getting Chestnut versus Kobayashi. What do you think of
They did have some duels back in the day.
that? No, but like on this grand stage, you know. 'Cause Kobayashi
I
was
mean,
the
it was still on the stage for the mustard belt.
Thank you to all our guests today, Chael Sonnen, Anderson Silva, Chris Billam-Smith, Richard Riakporhe, and Raul Rosas Jr. Back on Wednesday. Peace.